but you can't talk about it because I haven't.
What?
Oh goodness!
I'm not
Not
going to
either.
be. I'm not going to be able to see it until it streams on a service
Because
that I have access to.
before you showed up last time on stream, we were talking about it, and I now have to agree with both Ben and his brother and say, yes, that is the best Marvel movie I've seen in forever and an age. I
Yep.
am in love with this movie.
Top 2.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
I will say they will have to work pretty hard to be better than
Well, I mean, I'm sure you've heard the spoilers at this point, Lee, unless you're like,
As a matter of fact, I heard my very first spoiler about 30 minutes ago, and I yelled at my kid because he was watching some YouTube video too loud. So when
Oh.
the door closed in my office, I heard it. I was actually pretty pissed about it because I had successfully made it this far without any spoilers.
Do your best to stay under your rock
I would say, yeah, you got to be under a rock and not even like.
and close off, so
No
all
social
social media,
media.
etc. Because fucking awesome movie. That was a great movie.
That being said, this
expect
is
it
one of
will
those
be.
movies, even with spoilers, it's good.
Still awesome.
So good.
Yes.
It's just going to have to be a lot to beat Winter Soldier for me, because to me that was the ultimate MCU movie.
Really?
You know, that was
Yeah,
my
that is
son's favorite too.
That is my absolute favorite MCU movie to date. It is my number one. Nothing comes close to it. Avengers is my number 2. And Captain America: First Avenger is my number 3.
What?
Is my number 3.
What was? Are you a huge Cap fan? Is that why Winter Soldier is up there with?
Of the Avengers that are in Phase 1, Cap is the only one I liked before they became characters in the MCU. Well, Cap and Hulk. Nobody else did I even like as a character that I wanted to read before the MCU.
Are you a Spider-Man fan? Like,
Absolutely not. I actually collected it for years
Yep.
because you have to collect it to get the Marvel Universe. But Peter Parker is one of my most hated comic book characters in the history of comic books.
Bite your tongue.
really?
Well,
He's a
Well-
whiny bitch. He's
Well-
a whiny bitch.
So No
And
Way
I
Home
hate
is.
whiny bitches.
So No Way Home is not going to be a top movie for you.
no.
I will say
And
this,
I'm not
though. That said, Peter Parker, as played by Tom Holland in his MCU films, is not the character that has ever been in any of the Marvel comics I've ever read. Because he's not like that character, I actually like this character. But I completely separate the comic book character from the movie character, with the exception of Captain America, who is the same in each.
Yeah.
Which is why he is my absolute favorite. Because not only did I like him before, I like him now. And other than a few window dressing and statistical and logistical changes, i.e. when he woke up versus when he woke up in the comic books, he is fundamentally the exact same character with very little changes. And that's impressive to me. Spider-Man, in order to make him likable to me, they had to change the character, which I am so very glad they did, because I really like Tom Holland's character. I really like what they've done with the character. 2 movies, Avengers crossovers and stuff so far. I am so glad they did not make the character from the comic books, but I just don't. I think Peter Parker is the perfect character for what he was designed to be. A high schooler, young college kid who whines and complains about his situation.
Just off of
Does
what
nothing to
you're
change.
just off of what you're saying, you'll like the movie. It will not resonate with you as it does with others as being like a top 3, top 5.
100%.
You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy
Agreed.
it, but it won't be one of your top.
Agreed. And mind you, this is coming from a chick who did not read very many, if any, comics. But the second they were saying they're going to make a film about a character, I went online and researched and did all the background. I'm that kind of a nerd. I'm not necessarily a comic book reader, but I read all the information that I could before I went and watched the movie.
Yeah.
Without the movie information.
Yes,
So
I know all the main people, but
Right.
you know, like when the last
Did not
Spider-Man
read
movie
very
came out,
many,
it was
if any.
Mysterio. I had to do a little research.
So
I've
I
seen
did
them.
not.
I don't know a whole lot about them.
I've only so I'm going to segue by saying I've only seen Tobey Maguire and I've only seen Tom Holland. I did not see anything in between those two.
Oh,
But I was still absolutely 100% thrilled to have seen what I seen.
All right. Slowly interjecting here. I
film.
think we're alive on.
We are
YouTube,
live.
Jeremy is on his way. I still have no idea where Matt is.
I thought Matt was working.
That might be the case. That's right. No, I thought he was. He told me he was going to call out. To be honest. So if you're someone who
I didn't
for,
see him post or say anything
Yeah.
about calling out. Last I saw him, he was talking about
Yeah.
things out.
I didn't hear him say anything earlier today at Joe's.
Yeah. Well, that was like the day before, but again, my mind's been going all over the place. Crazy. Someone else just popped in. Let's find out who that is.
I am now.
Objective Rubin. I love the name.
I know that voice.
that's Jeremy.
Yes, it is.
Objective Rubin. Oh, interesting.
Jeremy,
What?
have you watched Comedians of the World?
No.
All right.
I can get
Well,
as far as like the
You
UK.
are here. Thank you for joining us. I'm kind of like I have a lot of screens
UK,
going on.
Africa, and then that's it.
Hey, just a question. Is my camera on for everybody?
Yes, I can see.
It's on for me.
Yep.
Yep.
Huh, that's unique.
What's that?
Because it tells me it's off.
Well, there's a new little thing. I think a new tab, a toggle share. That wasn't on last time we were using this platform.
Food's on the way.
Yeah. All right. So Matt should be logging on too. So that's it. All right. So Jeremy.
There's a share screen on Vorpal now.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's a different thing. So Jeremy,
Hey.
you can change your name if you just highlight that to your character name. Let's see.
Ben, if you're gonna run a second column, why don't you move a couple of people up, just so it's a little easier to view on the stream?
Way up thing.
Yeah, well, like Glenn, move him up under Jeremy. Oh, it's a different computer, is what I keep.
Move everyone else around.
I see what my issue is. I keep trying to expand the screen so I can see it better, but it's expanding it for everybody, and then somebody keeps shrinking it back down. Got it.
Well, we're going to overtime, it looks like.
Uh-oh.
If they don't miss the extra point.
I'm gonna put a recipe down here with you guys. Keep the characters pretty small. Move things around. Alright, so you will see a new player. Welcome, Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy.
He will be
Hello.
he will be introduced
Who dat
later
dude?
of who he really is and what he's doing. You will also probably see now another familiar face. Glenn has returned to us as well.
I think he looks familiar.
So
Haven't seen you. Whatever.
So all of a sudden, our party has really increased in size
Oh, it's a party now.
from back in the day where I think it was just 4 of you guys to quite a bit more. Alright, let's see here. Alright, hopefully everyone will see everyone a little bit better. Keep little people as they are. Alright.
The map is a little small. I don't know if that's.
Yeah,
what
I'm keeping away because when people pop in, when Matt pops in, I can't see him. I guess a couple people were hidden behind the map earlier, so I'm kind of keeping it
okay.
small, and then I'll pop it up as a little bit larger in a second as we go from that. And then if I need the other camera, I will pop that. But I kind of hope that it'll be a little bit more we pretty much set more role playing than before. All right, so again, welcome to Stream Spero. The last we met, we had found Mystic. Our brave warlock has decided to take the sin of lust from her, completing 2 of now 7 of the tasks set before to free the goddess Silk. That has done quite a bit of a change for him. He's been undergoing some things, and yeah, so the parties has a bit of a difference. They have just got information that they are seeking the 3rd sin in Zin, who's somewhere in Fangsport, believing to fight in the fighting pit there at Fangsport. So that's where the party has left the city blockade, and they're traveling toward that. And this will give a chance for you guys who have missed Zindrid and her little bit of deciding to defend the boat more than helping you guys defeat things like a Knight of Nine, and kind of catch her up with what's going on, or if you guys have views or any other questions, she can be a part of that. Plus, Russell is can be a little bit more talking to as what she's all about, because apparently she has some information about Fangsport supposedly coming from there, if that was a plan as well. So we will begin our adventure on the high seas for you guys traveling.
Along with Russell knowing information about Fangsport.
Yes.
If you can interpret what she's going to say.
You can interpret what she's going to say. For those of you who don't know, we have a few NPCs still aboard here. We have T, we have Laura, the lovely Shadow Smite, very popular amongst the party, and Rydell, the dependable vet. So there. I'll put that down there for now until I find Matt. All right. So, would anybody like to discuss anything while on the seas with our wonderful noble dark elf?
I'll definitely fill Zindrid in about my 2 new acquired weapons, the one of which I've attuned to Bringer of Law, the short sword. It is its own entity, and it has accepted me and will aid me, but I have work to do to have Lawbringer work for me as well.
Very impressive. Very nice.
If
Stone blade.
if Russell will have figured out that she is from or knows information about Fangsport in her way, she will have probably gotten with her to go, oh, like you know the place, to go and see how much she knows, you know the whole, oh, what do you know, kind of a thing.
To who?
The NPC that you mentioned who knows Fangsport?
No, you know Fangsport.
Oh, I'm sorry. I completely misunderstood. I thought there was somebody else who knew about Fangsport.
No.
Okay. My bad. Then I retract everything I just said.
Okay. I was recapping the fact that they remember you had said something about it.
Got it. Okay.
Am I with them yet, or am I waiting for them to encounter me?
You'll be when they arrive at Fangsport.
Okay.
Jeremy, could you touch the color palette up there and pick gray?
I was going to say, unless you're a mermaid, you're not on the boat yet.
What's the lunar cycle looking like?
You have about cycles change every 3 or 4 days. Say about a week.
So before or after we reach Fangsport?
Before. As always, it seems with you guys' luck with that.
In game,
Firebrand.
how far are we out from there, from Fangsport?
You're about a 3-week sail.
Okay.
I'll occupy my working days training, uh, working in the use of bringer of law, and then also taking downtime from that to inspect the cage, make sure it remains sturdy.
Okay.
Specifically looking for any loosening or broken things from the last time. If he loosened something, I want to make sure it can be reinforced.
All right. About 2 days into the travel, heading towards Fangsport, the captain will approach you, Hephaestus. I believe we have a problem, sir.
And that is
It is best I show you.
okay.
He will lead you with the first mate, Rudolphe, down below deck. Give me an insight check.
$18.
Okay. He's kind of leading you toward where you place the body of Pepper.
Okay.
So as you walk down there, you pass Jew and Zindred. Do you say anything?
HK.
Sindred, join us, won't you?
Of course. Zhu, it's good to walk with you again, though you seem hairier.
Good to see you.
Rudolph goes, huh? She's dogging you, huh?
Okay, listen. When you all start re-holding up your end of the bargain, you can talk shit.
Sorry. All right. So the three of you
Wait,
party
did you
members.
say shit? Do you need to be taken out?
HK, in about a week's time, if the restraints happen to be left a little loose, I wouldn't mind.
I know you jest.
The captain says, very important. We have a very important matter.
Let's go.
All right. He finally leads you down to where Pepper's body was supposed to be. You see, there is no body. Like,
Where is she?
no wrapping. Everything she was bound in, that is also not there. It is completely like the spot, more or less, now is not unoccupied where she was slain. That is the problem. You there? We've head up the sea. Gone. Uroto told me. I figured must tell you right away, just so you know. But I have no explanation where the body is.
Have we searched the boat?
Yes,
Top to bottom? All of the holds?
top to bottom, all crew involved. No body.
Butts to nuts.
Zendard will step forward into the room and start looking around, trying to investigate or perceive anything that she may as to where the body may have gone. Whether it's mundane, magical, Rose is a vampire, walked off and is somewhere on the ship eating somebody.
Give me an investigation check, I guess.
I'd like to help with that investigation check if I could.
All right, you have advantage.
15.
I'd like to not help.
Okay.
No, well, the 15 was straight. I didn't do the advantage. My bad. Hang on.
Alright.
Yeah, 15.
Player 7 has entered the room.
You can look around and there doesn't seem to be anything physical wise that somebody would have, like, you can tell that somebody was there messing around. You don't see any like scuff marks, you don't see things that would probably be evidence if someone was trying to pick somebody up, you know, like with a cart or some device to like a chest or something to hide him in, like any additional scrape marks and stuff. It was a pretty secure area that where she was kind of laying. So your only guess would be somehow magical, but there's really no other evidence beyond, there just isn't any physical evidence, is what you're determining.
By the Raven Queen, I have no idea. Perhaps she was magically whisked away?
That's the only thing I can think of, but why, I do not know.
Or by whom?
That would also be an amazing question.
We should tell Oleski.
Are you sure?
It's better he
I
finds
jest,
out
I
from,
jest, I
from
jest, of
friends
course.
than he finds out on his own.
Yes, of course we must tell him, I jest. In poor taste.
Okay, so the rest of you guys will go above deck where you'll find the rest of the party. Welcome back.
Oleski. Can you hear us, Matt?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. Hello. HK is gonna find Oleski right away, and just say, my friend, we have dire news. Pepper's body has been moved. It's no longer in the hold.
Where have you placed it, and why is this dire?
Russell is going to go, fuck.
We have not placed it. It has disappeared. We found no evidence of it being moved, which would indicate somebody has magicked it away. We have no idea who or by what method.
Ben, if you don't mind me catching up here for the last couple of moments, where have I been? What's been going on? What's
You're on the boat. You're on the boat. The force of the storm. You are 2 days out of leaving City of Lockett to go to Finksport, and the captain brought some members down below deck, and they've come back with this report to you. So that's pretty much all that's happened.
Well, we're definitely out at sea, and the number of people that could have done it is fairly limited. So,
right.
Yeah, okay.
And the
Not like we're in the port.
the captain says her body was there a day ago. It is day 2 that her body has disappeared. So it's another odd situation where no one took her body off to the city of Lockett, unless this was done in the middle of some type of espionage raid with a boat that went off the side to escort away. That would be the only physical evidence, but there is no other. The other explanation would be, obviously odded that she's been taken.
I assume that this strange, for me,
Perhaps her
Dark elf
goddess
has shown up
has taken her to the whatever new afterlife there is.
on decks.
I don't know the ways of her faith, so I can't say specifically for sure, but that is a possibility.
Hello?
Was that?
Okay, no.
That she was taken
Yeah,
away by
I
the
haven't-
her goddess.
Go ahead, Glenn.
I can hear you, Jen. Leslie,
Okay.
can you hear Jen?
No, I cannot.
That's
Okay.
what I thought I
That's a
was
no.
detecting, because
That's,
she
yeah.
was trying to. We were cross-talking, and it
Can
didn't seem
anybody
like
see
you were.
or hear?
I can't see her either.
I don't see him on the stream either.
I lost
I can
Jeremy.
see him, but I don't
Yeah,
hear him.
I don't have them.
Oh, wait.
I can see
on
them.
my screen.
I can't see him or hear him, and I don't see him on
Sorry.
the stream right now.
He's the only person I can't see or hear.
Yeah.
Everybody else I can hear, I can see. Fine.
I just messaged him.
Okay.
Same here.
No.
I lost him.
Because you said that Zendred went and came up, on top side with HK, and Russell's the only one who doesn't know them. So I was going to react to that.
Gotcha. Oleski was trying to respond to the question that Ben had posed to him and couldn't hear you at all, so that's why he kept cutting you off. I was looking at your facial expression. I'm like, he has no idea that she's talking.
Yep, I got nothing. And then
I do
Jeremy
apologize.
says
I
he's
don't.
coming
I
back
don't
in.
see or hear Jen at all.
Why don't you try to also back in and back
All right,
out?
back out. Yeah, back out,
Yeah.
back in.
Some people are having some issues, so you can find everybody else.
Yeah.
That's pretty
It's a
weird.
good time if anybody else has somebody they can't see or hear to back out, come back in too.
Well, I suppose I should then, because I can't see or hear Jeremy, so I'll back
Well,
up.
Jeremy just showed up, so I don't know if that's
Yeah,
okay.
he
Jeremy
was
just came back.
Okay, okay.
I think
do
you're
see
one.
Jeremy.
I think you were like good.
Oop, and we have Oleski. We have Matt.
All right.
Now I see.
I hear him.
I don't see. There we go. Yeah. Okay. It looks like I see and hear everybody now.
All right.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Little glitch. We're all good. Okay.
Okay.
So continue.
So, again, I assume that Zendred came up top side
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
with HK. So Russell, being the new person, probably would have gone, I have no idea who the you are, and would have gone to HK and kind of smacked him with her hand and gone, what the fuck is that?
Well, I would say you've seen the Dark Elves on the boat before. You just don't know them well. You're not, like, introduced very well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Laura.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've been around. They've just not been terribly active in the last couple series of events we've been involved in.
Yeah, Zender's
I will
been
accept.
guarding the ship or, working on other
Okay.
things.
I did not catch that. I thought you were off somewhere else. My bad.
It's all good.
I
No worries.
retract.
All right.
All right. So we're
So
pretty satisfied with the disappearance of Pepper.
I think Oleski was trying to say something about it last time when we ran into the original issue. I don't know if you remember what you were saying, Matt.
Well, I was positing that perhaps she was taken by her goddess, but I don't know her religious beliefs or consequences of death. So it's only a possibility.
Indeed. It is just a mystery. There are no signs of foul play that we can see.
Otherwise, we have to consider that perhaps some kind of necromancy is involved, and that her body was taken for less than moral reasons.
Well, it's never out of the realm of possibility when we're dealing with a lich.
can you use your magics to see if necromancy was used here?
Have we checked the rest of the boat?
That has been done.
Yeah.
The captain assures us that the boat has been searched from top to bottom.
Just for shits and grins, I would like to use that aspect.
Which is
Give me a second. I can tell you how far I go, which is probably not real far. Considering I'm not in favored ground, up to a mile, undead celestials, dragons, elementals phase, but I'm looking for the whole undead thing.
well, there are no undead.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
I don't have the skills to identify magical auras, but I can see into the essence of the world around me. I will perform an investigation to see if there's anything beyond sight that can be found.
Looking for.
Excellent.
Well, I'll cast True Seeing, and I'll slowly walk around the boat.
All right.
So that has a 1 hour duration. So I can probably cover a good portion, if not all the boat, even with a slow, methodical
I messaged
view
you.
through the boat.
That's what you see. Nothing else out of the ordinary.
Huh, you don't say. Do they look like something I've seen before?
Yep.
Yep, okay. So after some time of walking methodically through the ship, I will, report back to the group.
Yeah.
I have looked through the essence of the ship and the essence of the world around us, and I see no evidence that anything was done to her body. No, lingering essences in the ether or anything like that. No ghosts. So at this point, I have no extra information. But nothing seems befouled of the nature of the boat.
Russell's gonna point a thumb at him and say what he said.
If there's nothing afoul, then I'm content to leave it at that.
Okay. All right.
Indeed.
So the boat will continue to travel. Is there anything else anybody wants to prepare for, talk about?
An investigation roll or perception roll to look for weaknesses in the cage and the system we've rigged up to keep him contained.
You may roll at advantage.
And I will stay away from the area while I look for those, so I don't see the weaknesses if there are.
Duly noted.
Am I rolling investigation
Yes.
or perception? Your call.
I'm gonna do investigation because you're definitely making sure there's anything odd going on.
Oh yeah, not 20, baby.
The cage.
25.
The cage is secure.
Excellent.
Then I'm
I'll-
gonna.
I'll definitely inform the party that we are ready for the change. But I do suggest we don't let him howl as he did the last time, and we put him under in some fashion as soon as possible.
Are you suggesting that we get him a muzzle?
Couldn't hurt.
It would not be the worst thing that could happen, and it certainly would aid us in not having to physically harm him if we can avoid it.
Russell gives an
Indeed.
enthusiastic thumbs up.
Muzzle him up. Then I'm gonna cast Flying Familiar to get my owl back. Flying around.
The owl shows up. hangs out
Since
in
we
the
have time.
I will speak with, just try to find somebody in the crew, investigate the crew, see if there's anybody who could help us fashion a muzzle with what we have available on board ship.
Well, another investigation roll to see if we can scrounge something up.
Can I help him since I like to investigate?
But he already has advantage.
Alright.
All right, the first roll was a 9, second roll, oh yeah, 21.
Yeah, there's a leather couple like old armor, stuff like that you could use with straps that can be outfitted to do that. But it's gonna take some skill, some leatherworking skill to change it.
All right, whatever it takes, and I'll let's see here, and I'll definitely a couple gold to whomever is actually whoever's doing the work gets extra so they can be done well. Pay them for their time. It's very important.
Okay.
And if I can get that person's name,
Bosun will do it.
Bosun.
Oh,
Thank you.
The Bosun will do it. I'm sorry. His name is Diego.
It's a title.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate your help.
You're welcome.
And to Jew, I'll just say we're squared away.
Thank you, my friend.
I'm with you, always.
All right. We'll just continue if there's anything else. The Jew incident transformation is secure. There's nothing that's going to happen in the seas. There's no way for Ripperjack to get a hold of him. So it is just more or less a few days of misery at night with him making sleep difficult. But again, you have a long journey still to Kingsport, so it's not going to give you guys exhaustion. Pretty much, yeah. So he's not very popular with the crew now after that incident. So you guys are getting close to Kingsport. You'll be a few days away from it. Is there anything you wish to prepare for before arriving in port? And you guys are all fully rested, in case you haven't been. So anything at any point, full rest.
All right, so back to Fengsport.
Yes. We need to find Zen, and my understanding is it'll be in and around the pits. Is that correct?
That's the last you heard. I will also note that be prepared. You may have several notes that you guys have had, but most of those interactions, about 90% of them, do not exist.
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah.
Okay.
What was that?
Thank you.
What did you just say?
Well, Lesky can play it off it.
What did,
We have been here before, but all of our activities and interactions have now not happened. You can't assume for things to be the same as they were when we were here last time.
Because we did the time jump back.
Yeah.
Be careful in your assumptions, and be careful in your expectations. The things we do now will be different, so they will react differently to us.
How confident does Russell feel in that?
About what? Getting to Kingsport?
That statement.
You have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, because you weren't with us when that happened. For
Well,
you, everything
I mean,
is the same.
Based upon the last time I was there.
Zindred looks bewildered as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should explain.
It's okay.
Travel through time.
We
went back to the future.
You haven't seen how high I can jump, dog. Which I only say in jest, Jew. I only say in jest.
I'm sure you could jump real high if I was chasing you.
We went back to the future. I played a crazy cool song on the electric guitar and wowed the prom. And...
Hot firebrand.
Somebody called you chicken. No.
Had your amps blow out.
It's just too loud.
HK tried to make out with his mom. Wait, what?
Yeah.
What? Calvin Klein?
What?
Squirrel. Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Months before we met you, Zindred, and after we first met.
No, before.
Well, before we first met your uncle, we had been here. We actually fought your uncle, defeated him.
Whooped his ass.
We thought we were successful. We went back to where we had originally started our adventure from to find out that things were not right. We were not successful.
We became great friends with them.
The
Cool dude.
the Summer Queen put us back into the real world from the Fey realm earlier than the time in which we left. So we had the opportunity to redo what we did, and we were that time successful in stopping that ritual. That's where we captured your uncle and befriended him and brought him with us. So we had been in Fangsport for a number of days, had some mishaps and some adventures and some significant missteps, but we had also made some contacts and some friends. But because the second time around, we did not do the same things, we did not meet the same people, we do not maintain those same contacts and friendships. So we have a overall familiarity that is not necessarily accurate with what took place.
So Laura's going to ask, speaks up. So you just stopped Ubin at a ritual.
Correct.
Why was Ubin doing a ritual?
He wasn't doing the ritual. He was supposed to
He was
protect
protecting. Yeah, he's guarding.
those doing the ritual from us. The first time we bested him in combat, resulting in his demise.
What happened to the people that were doing the ritual?
The second time around, they were defeated,
Whoop their ass.
but we spared Ubin and brought him with us the second time.
So they're all dead.
Yes. Well,
Except for the vampire.
except for the vampire who originally did the ritual.
Excuse me?
There's a vampire whom we bested in combat, but did not successfly kill.
There's a whole gang of vampires.
Oh, now there's even more vampires.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So were you
The
befriended?
rest-
Few boys
lesser.
that might be lost.
So
The
basically you,
the court of the Fang, which Russell probably has known about, given
Russell, you may
being
roll.
from
You may roll history now.
Fangsport.
Excuse me?
You now may roll history hearing the court of the Fang.
Vampire.
They all look like. Are they sparkly? No, probably not.
History, -1, that'll be a 12.
You do know that there's somewhere east of Fangsport, but you don't know a lot of the detail. Your connections didn't have a lot to do with that stuff.
I was gonna say, I have not heard this story.
But
Too much Hobbs fifth.
Any
You were
slight
hanging with the
rumor-
vampires?
Any slight rumor you heard were not positive.
We're not positive?
Were not of the positive
Yeah.
stories.
Okay.
You didn't hear about all their charity work in the poorer section of Fangsport.
So Laura's going to ask, we'll mention to you, Zindrid, that how important was this? Do you know of this ritual that they're talking about? How important it was?
I do not, or at
Because-
least not off the top of my head.
This was one of the rituals to open the 3 portals using the bloodstone that they had. So we interrupted the ritual and took that bloodstone. That was similar to the one that we came to your city to acquire from your family.
Right, which my uncle brought you.
Yes.
Why was he
But
working with these
that's-
vampires?
Your grandmother sent them over.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Yes. Before, I assume before the intervention of Silk in conversation with your family,
Yes, before the change.
your family and these vampires and the Lich were working together to accomplish these 3 rituals to link these 3 portals. So far we have interrupted 2 of the rituals and gathered the bloodstone components from those 2. There's still a 3rd portal and a 3rd bloodstone somewhere that we don't know of yet. But in theory, we hold the majority of the components and prevent these connections from being made.
I do know. I do remember that we need to make sure that those connections don't happen. That's part of what's integral to the Raven Queen coming across without being enslaved to Hades. So
Yes. But you can
Right,
factor
so-
in that this was kind of like a behind the scenes deal that your grandmother kind of set up with Ubin to kind of keep track of things. But
Gotcha.
this countess, by your
It seems like my grandmother.
right, so you're assuming that if you're when you guys go to city, if these guys are known, then they're going to be known. You'd assume that the
Okay.
vampire just isn't going to brush this off as a failure, oh well, and start something different.
No, that
could
makes
very
complete
well-
sense.
She could very well be intent on reacquiring these bloodstones, or at least punishing those that have just slightly.
So, the vampire escaped, and now you return to the city. I think further than just not expecting things to be as they were, we may actually be met with hostility if she's looking for you, waiting for you.
It's certainly a possibility. We know that there was more than one vampire, but we only encountered one at the ritual site. So we don't know how many are actually in Fangsport.
Well,
But we do know a house of information, so that there's a possibility of gathering information from there. We do know that there are a number of factions in the city that are all vying for control and power, so there are some alliances that we may establish again if we're careful. And we know that there are a number of dissidents, if you will, towards the city's power structure that are looking to change the city. So that is also an avenue of resources that we may tap into.
And there's also, even though we are not here specifically to create that type of change, if we do enough damage to, say, this faction, or more damage than we have already done, perhaps that's something where others will swoop in and pick up the call and do the rest of the work against that faction entirely.
Russell will comment, "Oh, definitely."
And not to mention, I also bear the weight of my grandfather's power, and can call upon the sun in some instances.
oh, I do not fear the vampires. I simply want us to proceed with caution. Kismet is still a little bit irked about leaving the Greystoke vampire alive.
I can assure you that this city, though far more vulgar, has just as many power plays going on as your home city. So, as you can imagine, there are a number of twists and turns to navigate.
Oh, definitely.
Zender just kind of raises an eyebrow at the bird.
Okay. Anything else?
I think the first thing we need to do is plan where in the city we're going, and then go immediately there. Also, it would be best if we stayed out and away from the city if we are approaching later in the afternoon or at night, and come in at dawn. That way we have time to find a place, get to a place, be secure before nightfall.
Oh, we have a couple places that we can choose from in Fangsport.
Indeed.
Depending on where we want, what we want to accomplish first. Because we have Ripperjack, we have Zin, and we have Arturo, Blackscar. As 3 possible objectives while we're in the city.
Didn't you say that Russell was from here?
Yes.
Might, as a native, they not have a good line on a place to stay or how to move through the city? I mean, no disrespect towards y'all's previous experience through time, but
I would lean towards Russell for an idea of a safe place to stay. I merely suggest we do it at dawn versus later in the afternoon or night.
I would think staying in the city would be our best choice. And I would say that what we need to do is identify who is directly opposing the Court of the Fang currently. And by staying in that territory, we surround ourselves with the most
Deterrent.
reasons for the Fang not to come after us at a particular point.
Russell, do you know who would be best able to mount defense against the Court of the Fang?
She'll make
Well,
that.
Well put.
Yeah. The purple octopus, or
Purple
the
octopus.
mermaid's embrace.
Purple octopus. That sounds familiar.
Wasn't that part of the pirate gang? What the hell was it? Jellyfish or jelly roll or something? God damn it! I gotta keep going back to river.
Yeah, that was on the southeastern dock area, if I recall.
That's closer to where the pits were, if I remember correctly, right?
To lay your head.
What was
Out
the
of
name
curiosity,
the
as we're having this discussion, is there a map laid out?
Yeah, you can get this map. I mean, they do know where all this place is, so you can look over.
Right.
that.
So we could be looking at a map
Yeah.
right now. Then Zendrid, aside from when she needs to, because she's never been here before, is going to spend some time specifically studying it to try to help her with navigating the city if she needs to
Hey.
in an emergency.
Okay.
Do we have extra maps?
You guys were on a freakish spending spree of maps, if you remember. Not only above ground, but underground.
That was Jill.
That's why I say it.
I'm sure we have maps.
You have a map of Fangsport.
Benson Jelly. That was.
Fangsport
Already
is
familiar with the general layout of how cities and things work, because there's a pattern to most. She's going to spend as much time as she can just trying to commit as many details to memory as possible.
Certainly. Ben, could you point out on the map where the fighting pits are?
Alright. So the purple octopus is a bar associated with Benson
Bishop.
Jelly and the Jolly Jelly Gang. If anybody cares.
Bishop Bean as well.
Bishop Bean. I do not have any Bishop Bean. in my
Russell will add, if you really want to hide, Aphrodite's trap.
Oh yes. Run by Pussy
Aphrodite's
Hart
fly
City Man.
trap.
This
Fly trap.
area here, you remember your details, was run by the crime lords Frog and Slate. But where the pits are is it's not directly known. They're a lot underground fight club type of
Okay.
First rule of Fight Club.
You don't know. Where it is.
Wouldn't Russell know where they are?
Russell wouldn't know where they are because your connections are very limited with your associate because of where his standings
So
are.
the Alley Cat was the big tavern, the one that owned by.
What
Pussy
you
Hart
will
City
know,
Man.
Jen, what you will know though, because of the listing that I gave you, I believe of those people, they're pretty much very territorial. None of them like any one of each other. So
Which them?
that's all the names that you guys. Believe all you guys really know who they are. So that is the Court of the Fang is one group. The Jolly Jelly Gang is another group. The
Hobbs Legion
is another group.
Frog and Slate.
The Cult of the Night
Frog
Garden.
and Slate runs the fighting pits.
Frogs and Last Slate, yeah.
That's the Cult of the Night Garden is the one that runs Aphrodite's Flytrap that Russell just mentioned, and Zelene is the owner and knows everything going on in the city.
That's the place where we ran into trouble the last time,
All
right?
these fucking notes.
Notes now.
Would that be the Bard?
I said, if you want to hide,
So Aphrodite's flytrap seems to be the best place to hide from the Court of the Fang. Is that what I'm understanding, Russell?
The owner of the Alley Cat, which is in the Hobbs Legion territory, told us specifically not to go to Aphrodite's flytrap last time we were here.
Russell is extremely. Russell will extremely shrug her shoulders and be like, whatever you want to do.
T will say, to be fair, she hasn't been here in a while.
Well, the flytrap was the mistress of the flytrap was the information master. She was the one that was a broker.
And she was questioning us a lot.
That's
So-
her job, her profession. I mean, but she also, I believe, would pass on information with the right motivation.
So, Ben, I don't have in my notes any of the establishments for staying that would indicate that any one of them were against or for Hobbs Legion.
The establishments you don't know. The taverns are very front, so unless you really know the inner workings of them, and you've been away for a while, but you wouldn't know that. The only thing you know is you just kind of know the big gang bosses, so to speak, is what they are. None of them like each other. This is a city hell-bent on against each other. So
lovely.
It's not like it would be hard not to get enemies, but it's not going to be hard that they think that you're an enemy of their enemies, trying to get more of what's going on. There's a lot of paranoia in this city, and a lot of them trying to backstab and take a leg on someone else or all that stuff like that. And it's very,
like all the different gangs and the Warriors.
Very dangerous.
So I have absolutely no idea which brothel or hostel is going to support, quote unquote, my people.
Well, the only thing you know is you are from Hobbs Legion. If you're assuming that you would have a little bit of protection in that part, but yeah, to go into where you need to go, that doesn't afford you really anything unless you're really kind of deciding to represent Hobbs.
Okay.
I think we can assume that the only safe place for Hobbs Legion is in Hobbs Legion territory.
Yeah.
There's no alliances that we know of that we can assume. Everybody's against everybody.
Yeah.
Unless so if the Frog and Slade has the fighting pits.
Yep.
A member of Hobbs Legion is with us as we try to go to those pits to get involved with those fights. Basically try to fight Zin. How do we broker that issue? Do we need to go to Hobbs Legion and try to get them to say, we're probably going to bring on some heat from the vampires. We will worry about weakening them, giving them an open. We will also be going after Zin. Whoever is Zin's master, we will also end up weakening. And then have them try to work with whoever is protecting us. If, for instance, if Zin is not mastered by the Frog and Slate, then
I highly doubt that he's mastered by anybody. He just wants to fight. He's just fighting to fight.
And if that's the
just
case,
to be the best. As one of these champions, I doubt that he's gonna just defer to some. To him would be some local yokel that thinks he's the tough guy in the city. He's not gonna defer to anybody.
In that case, then we just need to keep ourselves protected, go to the pits, and face Zin, and whatever we have to do to get to that fight.
Yeah, so we have Zin in the arena. Yeah, Arturo Blackscar we were told, probably in a loud place surrounded by bullies. So one of these taverns, and then Ripper Jack could be in the Bordello of Hearts, hanging out with because he's associated with the Court of the Fang.
You know where my vote would be to go.
Do we need to
Oh.
face Zin in the pits specifically?
We don't need to, but that's our best likelihood of finding him.
But if that's how we go about doing it, then you're deferring it to a one-on-one situation.
Correct.
Instead of,
Perhaps instead
Many.
we simply tail him out and deal with him as a group.
yeah. I'd prefer not to one at a time go in there to try to beat him until somebody does or we're all dead.
Don't get me wrong, I would much rather face him one-on-one for the glory of the Raven Queen, but this is not...
I'd rather drop a fireball on him from 12 miles away in a different town, but...
the stakes involved in this are too great to leave to chance.
Go to Hobbs Legion. I recommend it.
Yeah, Hobbs Fist.
I suspect to deal with somebody like Zin, we will have to prove our worth to him. We may not be able to beat him, but we have to prove that we're capable.
What is the sin that Zin holds?
Zin is...
Envy.
yeah. So we have envy. We have envy and sloth in the town. Arturo is sloth, and Zin is envy.
Envy would be easy to manipulate.
I did not realize Arturo was in town as well.
That was the last lead that we got, that he was in town.
So, Hobbs Legion seems to be the best place to stay. That I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah,
Does that sound right?
We have a connection with Russell, so...
And from there, perhaps getting more information about what's currently going on in the city.
So I think we should probably head to the Alley Cat, maybe?
Leslie, I will let you recall that you ended up with more trouble on the streets in the Hobbs sector than you did anywhere else.
Who was with me?
Oh, I
Was
didn't
it
forget
me and
that,
H-
but
Was
it
it
was
me and
HK that was
HK
the
that...
issue.
Was it me and HK that fought a bunch of... that got jumped in the streets there?
Yeah, you and
We
Pepper.
did.
The three of you
Yeah,
and
it was-
Pepper was the other one.
Okay.
And that was before the time jump or after.
Before.
Ooh.
Before.
Yeah,
We never
well.
came into the city in the after.
Oh, okay. Good point. All right.
Yeah, basically no one in the city knows who you guys are, except the Court of the Fang, because you made a theft on her on the roof. You actually didn't kill anybody either. It was just Ubin that you defeated. And then you stole it, and then remember, Ju was the only one that got possessed after in the pursuit.
So where's you?
I feel for him. It happens to Klaus all the time too. So.
Yeah.
So we know that the goblins, at least in and around Aphrodite's flytrap, are associated with Hobbs Legion and are looking for fights. We need to make sure that we don't respond.
Well, we can beeline it there, and hopefully Russell can get it in where we don't have to fight off the entire Hobbs Legion.
I recommend it.
Yeah. No, let's go to the Alley Cat. Go see Pussy.
All right. And then, like Zindred said, we should get an idea of who's around and who should be our first target, and go with the first best opportunity. But failing somebody stepping up, the pits seem to be the one place that we can locate Zin, and following him out would be the right course.
I mean, once we get to the Alley Cat, we can talk to at least, maybe talk to the proprietor, or somebody there, get a lead. Maybe they've heard, because if Zin's in the fighting pits and he's tearing through all challengers, I'm sure that's something people are talking about.
Well, I know that.
And then
Anybody that's good that's fighting is going to be talked about.
yeah, and then she might also, maybe she's heard anything about Ripper Jack being in town, or anything like that.
Ju and I have experience in the pits.
A little bit.
I'm aware.
All right. So the Force of the Storm is pulling up to the docks. You will recognize certain ships in the harbor. You will see the Majestic, the Black Void, the Kraken's Desire, the Cut and the Kiss, the Windfree, and the Dancing Skipper. They're all in port. And like I said, the Force of Storm docks. Captain pays the harbor fee, and you guys are able to get out. So you guys are down here.
I don't know if anybody's been keeping track of it, but if you have, you're no longer receiving the temporary hit points from Alexei.
Okay.
Russell will gesture at T and say, "The alley cat," and then she's gonna pat her own chest and say, "I will go home."
Sure. We'll lead on.
So she's gonna direct T to take the party to the alley cat, and she wants to go home and see what she's going to encounter there.
Okay. Does that mean everybody is going to go on board with us?
Yeah,
Go home.
I'll follow to the alley cat.
Okay. So no one's staying on the boat.
Don't think there's a need.
Okay. Just checking.
I'm sure that won't come back to haunt us.
I'm gonna suggest that strange though it may sound, the captain take the boat out of town.
You
And
There are a lot of pirates hanging about here.
And I would literally just be in a place where we could get back every fourth day at noon, and we will give him a message as to whether or not we need to board.
I can send him a message whenever we need.
All right. So every fourth day at noon, we'll send the captain a message.
Okay, I just paid the
2
docking
if I
fee.
see, 1 if I land.
How much is the docking fee?
That's not. You don't have to worry about reimbursing this. I'm just saying, the boat is here. We should be fine. It is part of the Jolly Jelly Gang's protection. I have an association with him. He's not going to be hostile.
If you feel confident,
I'm sure the boat will be fine.
They don't typically burn boats here.
Yeah.
okay.
If
we
you're
did have a body
you're the captain. So if you're comfortable with your ship, I mean, nobody's going to want to protect your ship more than you.
Mhm.
So if you're comfortable with it, then I don't see
I am comfortable.
an issue. I don't see an
And as-
issue with it.
Yeah, and as such, his men, I'm sure, are used to defending it when necessary.
All right. So you guys depart. Who has the highest passive perception?
That's probably me.
It's not me.
Not you.
21.
Is your passive?
Yeah.
Wow.
I lied. Mine's 21. I lied. Mine's also 21.
Okay. I was
Jesus
gonna say-
Christ.
all right. What is yours?
16 for
Russell?
Russell.
No, I just want the
Yeah,
last one.
we both have 16. We're dog shit apparently.
After about 10 minutes of you guys getting out and you're heading to the port,
Better than mine.
you're being followed by 3 orcs.
By 3 orcs.
And you pick them up, and they look like really mean orcs.
Hobbs Legion got written all over him.
No. these
Does
don't look
Russell
like-
Is it bright
does
out?
Russell
Hold on. Only
do I
HK
recognize them?
Only HK and Zindrid notice
Okay.
these 3 pairs. So these are the ones that they are.
Is it a bright sunny day?
It is. Well, it's not say bright. It's cloudy, but it is a sunny day.
Oh, I am drow. I do have light sensitivity, so my passive is 21. But if I'm out in daylight, it's up to you as to whether or not I still notice.
You will still notice.
Okay.
Because these guys, even as rough and tumble as Spanksport is, these guys kind of really stick out for what they are.
Extra
Zendrid
Even
will-
with my 16?
Yeah, you don't pick them up very easily.
Okay.
Zendrid will say quietly enough for everybody to hear her, but not enough to pass on beyond that. We've picked up 3 large tails.
I'll check. Do they look like they're Hobbs Legion colors?
They absolutely do not look like Obstetrician. They look like they're loyal to somebody sinister. And in fact, they have pretty much 2 of them have on their helms a white hand painted across their side of their face. The other one, a bigger
Sauron's
one,
making his play.
has one over his heart on his chest plate. These guys are super
Who was
well.
that?
They have super well. They're super well armored and look like they have.
Does
vicious
Russell-
blades.
Would Russell recognize that symbol for the city?
I was gonna say, after it's pointed out, do I know this?
You do know them.
Yeah.
They're not from the city.
We've met this symbol before.
You actually remember them from the Fae.
Oh.
These are Winter Court knights.
Oh, fuck. There's only one way to take care of an icy winter court heart. Fire.
So
Yeah,
Russell,
but we're not. We're in the streets. They're
I
telling us
know,
during
I
the day.
know.
Russell will stay with the group, and she's going to gesture at T, and then lead them off through an obscure alley that she knows, like try to lose the tail as best as she can.
Okay. I will have you roll, let's say, a survival check, please.
Okay.
Russell says, these are my streets.
Exactly. Survival. Well, that's a 14 plus 10, so that's a 24.
You're doing an exceptional job ducking moving. The party's rather large. HK. For about the 15 minutes that Russell's trying to lead you guys, you're pretty much moving around, picking around big crowds of traffic, around carriages and supplies going like that. These Winter Court orcs, they somehow are tracking you and following, but they don't often have view on you, but they're still close by.
They're tracking us.
Smell of a dog.
Could
Possibly me. Possibly Firebrand.
Could we set some sort of trap in one of these alleys that Russell knows? That's off the main thoroughfare?
We're
Shall
going
we
to need
simply
to
face them in
confront
one of these alleys?
Are we going to fight them?
That's what I would recommend.
Why don't we go down one of these alleys and make a fighting line directly across it with everyone behind us?
Russell is more than willing to set that up.
All right.
Excellent.
5 minutes of kind of moving about in an alley going there. The difference is... sorry. HK, the difference is, they're not looking to close ground. They're tracking.
They're just watching.
So they're keeping a tracker space between the amount of distance between them and you. They're not trying to close it. They don't look like they're looking to make a surprise intervention anywhere. They seem to be following. So your trap is not going to work because they're not going to walk into it. Unless you're going to somehow try to act like you've disappeared. But as Russell has made a great point of moving and ducking, so she could have changed any corner lane. But these guys, not having visual lock on you, are still able to do the distance as they need to.
They're not looking to engage us. They're just trying to watch us and see what we're doing.
The takeaway is that there's something on us or about us that they're able to track without actually visually seeing us.
Well, Tigo, that's not.
That's
not hard.
But they're intentionally not trying to engage.
As a way to keep track of them, I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on the first one that I see after I duck around an alley or whatever, so that I can track them to confuse them.
Okay.
Just so I, like I said, just so I can keep track of where they are versus where we are, to confuse the map.
Okay.
But at this point, we need to go where we're going. It'll either be a safe enough place where we can fight them, or if they attack, or
if we go into the alley cat and Russell's part of Hobbs Legion. If she's known at all, then just an outside, she doesn't even have to be super friendly with anybody in there. Just the fact that she's a part of Hobbs Legion and there's outsiders following her, coming after her, they'll side with her.
With an Arcana 11, did Zender realize that Russell cast Hunter's Mark?
Yes.
Clever
HK,
bird.
do you know the route to the bar that we're heading to?
I could probably find it after a fashion, but
I'm
I
just
don't know if
wondering
it'd be the best.
if we do a quick split, just to see how they follow. If they
I mean,
split up as well.
literally at this point, Russell is taking every side alley and turn that she can to disguise where she's going.
Once
She
I will make a good point. We don't know if they're following Firebrand or if they're following me.
Why
But
don't we
I
simply
would
turn
think-
around and ask them?
I would think that once we get into Hobbs Legion territory, based on our previous experience, that there's going to be people as part of the gang watching. They're going to know when we enter the territory, when these guys enter the territory. There's going to be people watching all these points of entry.
Yeah, technically, we never explored into the Hobbs Legion territory the last time we were here. We hadn't made it there.
HK and I went into the Alley Cat and talked to the proprietor and got jumped in the
On the
streets
way back.
and fought a bunch of people. We did all that.
I say we continue to the Alley Cat, but
Yeah.
Jew makes a good point. If we split slightly, but we
It
need
might give
we-
away which one they're following. If
correct
if you and I are in separate
groups.
parties, yeah.
So you're splitting up?
Zindran, would you go with Firebrand?
What was that?
Zindran, would you go? Would you and Rydell go with Firebrand?
Aye.
Oh, I think Russell and T are gonna come with me.
am with Firebrand.
Excellent.
So you and Jew probably might need one of those guys to go with you.
Well, Jew, myself.
Because we're gonna keep going towards the Alley Cat. We're gonna go further into territory towards the Alley Cat with the Russell.
Right. So Jew, myself, Laura, and Oleski, we can take an alternate route to get to the Alley Cat.
T, you go.
With who? Them? Well, we're with Firebrand.
HK.
I'm supposed to follow you. All right, fine. Laura will look to you, Zinder, for this plan, if approval or not.
Zender nods.
Okay.
We won't be too far split, but just enough that we
This
can
is-
figure out who they're trying to track, if anybody in particular.
Yes,
Alright.
as long
So
as this is just for
they either-
information.
They either
Yeah.
keep beelining it to the Alley Cat, like like me and Russell are doing, or they turn away from it, following you guys, knowing that you're not beelining it.
Well,
No.
here's my thought. Russell knows the city better. She should take the circuitous route. We'll go direct. That way we don't get lost.
True.
All right.
Indeed.
Who's going with Firebrand?
Russell.
Russell,
Zendrid,
Zendrid, Rydell,
Rydell.
and Jew or no Jew?
No, Jew's
Jew,
coming in with
Jew and
HK.
HK are going together.
All right. And you're taking a more
A
clever
direct
route.
route.
You guys are, but Firebrand is taking a clever route.
Oh, no. I know. Oh,
No.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Beep. Russell will take the most circuitous route that she can because she knows the city. T does not know the city, so she can take the most direct route.
Yeah, we're going to take the crazy route. Because I also cast, when we were on the boat, I casted my Find Familiar. So I have my owl that can be flying overhead and can be looking down
Yep.
to see what these guys do. We hitch off. We can see if they turn with us or if they keep following you guys straight.
Okay.
Because Russell
And when
Russell knows all the back alleys, every secret little pathway, and all the crazy ways that somebody from away would not know.
And we'll need
Firebrand, when you tell
to.
me, I can tell them.
Yeah, because within 100 feet, the owl and I can communicate telepathically, so it can tell me if they're following us or if they just keep going past us, following you guys.
All right.
Well, we'll need to wait till we break line of sight before we split, so that it's not just a visual choice
All right.
to see which
Correct.
one to pick.
You guys split up.
And Russell can set that up easy.
All right. So you roll a survival check, Russell, for your keeping things in a very secure manner.
Almost forgot
That'll
about
be a
the damn
29.
Okay. You feel like you have
Hell
done
yeah.
an amazing job. All right. 10 minutes. You have now lost sight of each other. You guys are on your own path. Firebrand, the orcs are following you.
Okay. Russell, they're following us, so we need to go to the alley cat now. We know that they're following me.
And Russell will make the from twists and turns and whatever. She'll make the straightest route from that point.
Okay.
Once Firebrand says that, Zendra will grip the hilt of her sword and, through sending, let HK know that they followed us.
Okay.
And
If they follow us into an alley and get too close, I can always seal off the alley with wall of force if need be to get away from them if they decide to attack.
Okay. As you do one of your twisting and turns into the corner, the three of them disappear. And then within moments, two of them are ahead of you, and one is like directly behind you guys. And the bigger one with the print on his hand is holding his hand up to tell you to stop, Firebrand. And Russell, because she's in the lead.
Zendra grips the hilt of her sword again and sends that information immediately to HK.
Okay.
Does Russell carry anything related to the Hobbs Legion on her?
Nope.
Like a brand or a coin or whatever?
Hobbs Legion doesn't really identify itself in any such matter. And again, you have been away for a long, long time.
Granted.
with this information, we're going to try to figure out where they might be.
How many are in our group? There's me, Russell, Zindrid, and Laura.
Right out.
No, Laura's with us.
Right out.
Oh, right out.
I send as much of a description of the area as I can with that HK.
Okay. I'll describe that directly to Laura, knowing that she will likely be able to get there faster than us. Go take care of your mistress.
Okay.
Leave us some breadcrumbs so we can follow.
To do that.
All right, she will flash on. All right, first though, we're gonna deal with. Do you two stop with the orc holding his hand?
Our group?
Yes. Simple yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. He seems happy with that. He lowers his hand. They have not drawn any weapons. Then with that, a life form, very small little fellow, drops from the rooftops and lands in front of the two orcs in front of you. Jeremy, you may describe what you look like.
Facing the. Oh, okay. All right.
Fireball! What? Oh, sorry.
Right?
Do I need to spell sculpt it to include you or exclude you?
So a very small, fair-skinned humanoid stands before you. Very sculpted features, almost elfish, but only about 3 feet tall. And just kind of leather armor, looking kind of roguish. However, the weapon that happens to be on my waist doesn't look like the normal type of weapon you'd see around here. And my hood hangs pretty low over my face, but my eyes kind of give off like a green gleam even under the hood.
So if it's not a kind of weapon that's noticed around here, what kind is it?
Do I describe it to them, Ben?
Sure.
So you notice that there seems to be like
We're looking
a
at
wooden
it.
stock, kind of leaning out toward you, but the stock doesn't look like a hilt of a sword, although the stock is connected to something metal that continues on past my waist. Almost more like
fucking gun.
like a barrel.
Ooh.
HK, you've
So
seen.
Russell-
You've seen. Oh, you're not there. So yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Is-
no.
Is Cole did Cole drop down facing the orcs or facing us?
Facing you guys. Like, and the orcs seem like they're waiting for him. Like they're subservient to this small.
They're
little fellow.
They're deferring to. Oh, okay.
You
All right.
inside get
Well-
impression that these guys work for this little guy.
So
And we know that symbol they have is from the Winter Court.
Yeah, and the little guy also has that symbol on his leather.
All right. I feel like since you're in our visual that you're friendly, but in the game I don't think you are.
right.
So,
Right.
I can see you smiling, so I want to say you're friendly, but I don't think you are.
So you could obviously they're ready for you to speak, Cole. You're this is your engagement.
Okay. Greetings.
Another minion of the Winter Court.
Russell will
Minions.
stand in front of Firebrands, like to the forward. Like she's going to present herself in front with her arms crossed, feathers hanging down.
Russell,
Like-
before he speaks, I'm gonna allow you to roll a history check on him.
Me?
Yes.
History, that's great.
What I know
So-
of
Cole's
Russell.
in front of two
Hold on.
of the orcs.
What was your
And it's
question,
one on the other side.
Jeremy?
what I know of Russell.
You may also roll a history check.
That's a 13 minus 1, so that's a 12.
Okay.
I got a 6.
Ben, did you say that Cole was in front of the two or in front of the one?
In front of the
'Cause
two,
I know they were
they're in
split
front
2
of
and 1.
they're in front of you and Russell. So there's
2 forward, 1
there-
aft.
Yeah. So there's 2 orcs that stopped
Okay.
you guys from moving. There's still 1 orc in the back of you.
Okay, so we don't know if they're good or bad. I'm gonna cast a dome-shaped wall of force over top of Cole and the 2 orcs.
Okay. You have
Russell-
We
We're
have,
gonna-
if we have to fight them, I'd rather fight one, and then we have a chance to talk to the other 2, or the other 3.
Would I know what this is, or do I need to do an Arcana check?
You would know. You could see him casting, and you would now know that he put that ahead of it, around you. So you know what a wall of force is. That would be not uncommon to you.
Okay.
I'll walk up to the wall and talk to him. I'll say, "Why are you following us? Why are you confronting us in the city?"
Russell will keep stride and keep just in front of Firebrand,
So, once
even if she has to elbow him. Like,
once he gets up,
Zindrid, keep an eye on the other one. That is the only loose one.
Understood. At that point, Rydell, she had already motioned to watch the one in the back while she was watching the 2 in the front until you indicated that was covered, and she turns around.
Okay.
so once you're in front of your wall of force, I'm gonna begin speaking to you, and then I'm gonna dispel magic it.
All right. What level is that spell?
So, dispel magic does not work
Doesn't
against
work on
wall,
that one, yeah.
of course. It's immune to all damage and can't be dispelled by dispel magic.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
pretty cool.
I didn't cast a low level spell, buddy.
Okay, so I'm just going to.
I'm not the
You
I'm
know
not
what?
the summer knight for nothing.
I'll just talk to you first before I show you up. So, well, greetings. I'm happy to have found you. Firebrand, the Summer Night, I presume?
Correct. And you have an advantage on me. I'm not familiar with you. other than your symbol.
I mean, what do you know of my symbol? Does it make you fear me?
The Winter. No, I just know that you're from the Winter Court, and we have other groups that we're dealing with, and don't really have time to have another adversary. So if you're here to help, it's welcome. But if you're here on court matters to try to make some play for power, we don't have time.
Oh, I'm definitely not here to become an adversary of yours.
Russell's gonna step forward
I
and
believe
put
you-
her finger on on Cole's chest.
He's gonna force
Even
you.
if she
You
goes,
can't. You almost hit the wall.
okay, I can't go inside it. Okay, so she's gonna point at him then and go, Queen Tatiana charged me with protecting him.
Is their conversation audible to those of us watching the back?
Yes.
Yeah.
When he says he doesn't want to be an adversary of ours, Zendrid says, just to herself, apparently. Smarter than he looks.
I'm just gonna dimension door next to Zindrid. I like Zindrid.
All right.
Does the wall force stop dimension door too?
Nope.
I don't think. Yeah.
No,
you can't-
Yeah,
it
no.
won't stop a teleport.
It goes into the ethereal plane. You
That's
can't
not,
even
that's
do
not
it.
natural. That's not a natural move. That's a teleport. That's actually we get out of the
Yeah,
teleport.
it's a teleport, which you can teleport out of it.
So you have the orcs
Cool.
still in there.
Huh?
The orcs are still in there. They haven't done anything. They've just been standing there while you guys are
Oh, I
playing your
think
spells.
they can come with me, right?
They
Are you bringing
haven't moved.
with you?
It depends if you're bringing them. If they're the same size, I believe.
You might be able to take
no.
one other, but they
It'll
don't.
just be me, and they'll just stand there because I'm not concerned about them getting hurt.
Hmm?
I don't believe
Let's-
that
So
any
you're
harm
concerned
is
about
going
you
to
getting hurt?
either.
Once he disappears
no.
from in front of me, while I'm searching for my target, I'm going to draw my bow and an arrow to search. So I'm doing,
So
I'm
when I-
scanning.
Takes a moment
When
to
I
see
appear-
the door appear next to Zindrid. So now the little guy is next to Zindrid.
when I appear in front of Zindrid,
So-
I'm going to bow low.
Before you start your bowing, just so you're aware, if you
bow your
teleported
head-
out of the wall of force directly in front of me, that's going to have been taken as an act of aggression, and my sword would be swinging as soon as I saw you, and Rydell's would be too.
You might bow your head just to.
Well,
Make it
I've already
fall off
done
his
it,
ear.
so
Okay.
be it.
So we're gonna roll initiative. All right. So let's. That will be a surprise round. I'll need everyone to roll initiative then.
Let me run back.
21?
Take heart, Jeremy. They had the same response with me.
Okay.
Perhaps one should just try conversation as opposed to flashy moves, because when you're in a tense situation, flashy moves make somebody shoot. That's what
I like
they do.
flashy moves.
Jeremy's still
Although,
talking.
had I thought that the weapon was going to be thrown, like, pulled on me immediately, I probably would have just shot one of you in the face from way off.
My weapon's been in my hand since y'all stopped us, man.
All right. So
We're
Jeremy,
standing there on guard.
Jeremy, I need
You're
your
staring us
initiative.
down.
This is all
Bertrand has
speculation. Hey,
advantage.
We
is
did
all
stop and make it
speculation.
the most conversation
Time out,
possible.
time out. Hey guys, we're playing speculation games. Let's just play. If you guys want to fight him, you're gonna fight him. So Cole, I
Yep.
just need your initiative.
15.
15. All right, Russell, what was yours?
I have advantage, so I started at a 1, and now I have a 16 plus 2, so 18.
18.
Oh, wait, do I have this thing? I didn't say I casted it, so. don't
All
worry
right.
about it.
So Zindrid, you're the fastest acting. So surprise round. This little guy just came up, appearing in front of you. And in what looks to be a bow and not armed, but you may react as you see fit.
Well, Kismet, as I said, would already be swinging.
Okay.
But I rolled a natural 1.
All right, so the surprise move, but you did attack quick, and you.
Speaking of Kismet,
That was a
Indeed.
That's one attack.
Still a 12, though.
I believe you still have a second attack.
Hmm?
Do you have a second attack?
I do. So, having faltered on the first because she was so surprised by his sudden appearance. Second attack is a 15.
Does that hit you? And he's able
No.
to just sidestep just quickly enough away on the back
Okay.
on the back swing. So he's quick.
As it passes, if he notices, the flat of the blade is what would have struck him, and she holds a hand out to Rydell. Don't be pert.
Okay.
Now, would I have noticed that, Ben, with my passive perception?
Yes. And
Okay.
it is Russell's turn. And she's gone. All right, she's now home.
Hey, yeah, I'm on.
Oh,
Hang on 1 second. I ran to do a bio break, so hang on 1 second.
You can't pee and play. Come on.
Hey. Hey. I can.
Dude, if
That's
you're ever
what mute
peeing
is
and
for.
playing, I don't want to know.
This is why.
Hey.
This is
That
why.
coming from the guy who did it before on Lee's game.
Live.
Sorry.
They make these headsets wireless for a reason.
Exactly. All right.
If her friends
So,
are watching,
Russell-
enjoy.
Russell would probably, like I said, she would have drawn her bow the minute he disappeared and scanned and found him
Mhm.
and loosed an arrow. With a 20 to hit.
That hits.
That's a natural 20, by the way. And she is using the Corpse Slayer, so that's +9, so 29 to hit. D6. So that's 5 + 5, so that's 10 points of damage. And then she would have held up. I have 2 attacks, but she would have held up.
Okay.
It would have been a natural scan, loose, and wait. You know what I mean?
All right, so you shoot him and then wait.
Yep.
All right, Cole, you have been struck in the back. I'm sorry, you're not next. So the orc in the back now, he decides to see that you've attacked their charge.
New season of
Now will
Snowpiercer.
rush into attack.
Can I put my hand up?
I will allow you to use your reaction, yes, to tell them. Is that what you want to do? To tell them to stop?
Yep.
They will hold action now. And then it is your turn.
Okay. So I'm going to pull the arrow out of my back. Not super happy about getting struck. Then I'm gonna cure wounds on myself.
Okay.
All right. So I heal myself.
All right.
And then I'll complete my bow to Zindrid, having noticed that Zindrid swung the flat of her sword at me. Kind of with like a smirk on my face. I approve and I appreciate it. And I'll end my turn there.
All right. Firebrand.
So if you wish to speak, any time would be a good time. Because I'm sure Zindrid will not use the flat next time. I'm going to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself and speak this time. or we could continue this dance.
All right, so I have to wait till my turn to
Well-
continue speaking, or
Well, I'll let you keep speaking. Speaking is kind of free, and this is gonna like get us out of combat.
Yeah.
Then you make your say.
Yeah.
okay. So, greetings. My
I
name
was-
is Cole, and I am from the Winter Court, but I was sent here from not Titiana, but Lady Justia.
Bertrand will nod.
Does Zindred have any idea who those two people? Well, she knows who Tatiana is. Do you know who the other one is?
Do you have? Give me an Arcana roll.
23. Wow,
Yeah.
I'm not that great at Arcana, but that was a good roll.
Lady Justia is the lady of the Winter Court. So the
Yeah.
next, that's the second most powerful of the Fae, of the Winter Fae.
Okay. She doesn't say anything. She's just tracking the powers
Yeah.
involved.
And because Russell has it in her notes, I assume that I know who she is.
Oh yeah. Anyone
Yeah,
of the
okay.
Fae know of Lady Justia. All the
Got it.
queens,
Oh.
the queens, the ladies, and the knights are all known amongst the Fae.
Got it. And I'm going to say that that second action that Russell has, she is holding for any aggressive action.
Well, the orc in the back is looking like he's ready to kill somebody.
That's why she's holding it.
All right, so you, Cole, go ahead. You announced that you're from Lady Justia. Anything else you want to add to it?
As long as conversation is what's continuing from here, Zendard keeps her sword ready, but does not act aggressively again.
Okay.
So, I was sent here to help. Is this your entire party? I really felt that you would be traveling with
No, you saw them split
more
up.
companions. Okay, I did see them
You saw,
split.
you,
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
you're the spotter. You were the one the reason why they couldn't lose them.
So, what happened to the rest of your companions? You sent them ahead? You were probably trying to get away from us, I imagine. These are all directed at
We were finding
Fire-
out which one of
Firebrand.
us you were
I've now
following.
turned to face Firebrand because that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, we were finding out which one of us you were following.
Ah, very good idea. What was your plan once you found out?
Fireball.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Well, Ben, I'm trying to find my notes from the past about Lady Justia because it's ringing a bell, but
I believe we've shown you exactly what we would have done once we found out.
You're
That's
directly
your-
opposed to the Shadow Court, Jacob. The Winter Court isn't friends. It definitely is the opposed of Summer, but
wasn't there one of them that I had a connection with? But I don't remember in one of the courts.
from your
I can't
backstory.
remember. So I got to find like.
All right, I'll
Text
let
messages from you.
Glenn talk while I look you up real quick.
I believe
I
we've
do
made
like your fires, Ingrid.
we made it clear what our intentions would have been to assess yours. Then,
Drow,
once you
correct?
behaved aggressively, respond in kind. Obviously, since you stopped and we've stopped, we intend to talk. Your head's not on the ground, is it?
Good point. It Drow, correct?
That should be obvious by the color of my skin, yes.
I mean, you could just have a skin problem, I suppose.
Indeed.
Russell is going to
And-
chuckle at that comment, and then she's going to look at Cole directly, gauging his reaction, and say, Knight Laras. And then she's going to spit on the ground.
Nice, alright. Do I know that one, Ben?
I'm as puzzled as you when that one speaks, honestly.
What did you say again?
Knight Laras.
Oh. That is the winner one?
Yep.
Yeah, she's talking about your winter knight. That is the winner.
She's looking, literally, all she's doing is watching for a reaction.
Oh, it's the one from the autumn.
You know of him, but you've never worked with him.
Okay.
He's the third. He would be the third power of the Winter Court. So she must have.
Yeah.
Okay. Birdfolk. Why do you spit when mentioning the name of Knight Laras?
She'll slightly lower her bow and cock an eye or an eyebrow, and then she'll slightly mutter, "The Queen of the Air and Darkness." She's totally looking for a reaction.
The big orc
one
behind the force field goes, "We're here to help stop those guys. That's what the lady sent us to do." Cole just likes to flirt around the situation.
There would have been better ways to introduce yourself.
Holding up
I
my
thought
hand
this was
to
the
tell you
perfect
stop
way to
to
introduce
talk
myself.
wasn't
Safer too.
polite enough.
I mean, mind you, had I taken another arrow in the back, I may have had to take it personally.
To be honest, you were the ones that cast the first spell. So, when it comes to politeness, I think you can recheck yourself.
Cast the first spell that was
A-
non-offensive and
A defensive spell, yes.
was purely for speaking in a polite manner, other than skulking around alleyways and corners
Trapping us?
I don't
and,
believe that
and
we were
rooftops.
Were we
Not
skulking?
medical.
I thought we were pretty...
Not well. We spotted you quite a ways back.
Alright, Lee, you now appear next to this big orc. And you're in a force field.
What's going on?
So you
They don't seem to
see,
be fighting.
you see two big orcs and HK in a bubble. There's a little guy next to Zindrid and Rydell, and Firebrand is like in between those two groups. There is another orc behind them who looks pissed off of all the orcs. The other two don't seem like they're doing much of anything, just in sort of talking to each other. And Russell is outside the little bubble.
I'll look at Cole, and as I lower the wall of force, I say, "In good faith, but you might need to check him." And I point back to the orc that looks like he wants to cut somebody's head off.
The big
That
orc,
Zindrid's gonna fuck up.
And you're going to see Russell with a slightly lowered bow. Arrow cocked, but slightly lowered.
the big orc goes, "Drex, calm down before I cut you down." And he immediately stops. You know, takes a couple steps back and chills, it looks like.
And which
I'm
orc
next
said
to-
that?
The big one that's next to now HK, who's in the one in the bubble.
The one whose hand is over his heart instead
Yeah.
of.
He's
Zendred
a-
glances at him, raises an eyebrow, and gives a slight nod of respect.
He's a
I-
very large one.
A
And
very good command of his men.
And very heavily armored.
I lower my weapons to not be offensive, but I stand next to, not opposing, but slightly behind and off to the right. So I'm clearly in his peripheral, not trying to sneak attack him, but I'm maintaining a superior combat position on him.
He seems unimpressed. But he's fully helmed for an orc. The other one that is next to him is a female orc. She seems to be pretty burly and athletic, but this one in the middle with the white hand seems like to be the real tough one.
I'm just gonna walk straight up to him and kind of like just eyeball him, check out his armor, walk around him.
You will notice that he has a very enchanted blade.
She was like, "Oh, you need armor."
I will
He,
also.
he doesn't have a enchanted blade. He's a very enchanted blade.
No, he has an enchanted blade.
I'm gonna walk up to HK and kind of just knock on his knee.
How not tall is this
He's 3
new
feet.
person?
Pretty
3
small.
feet.
Pretty small dude.
HK's get pretty close to 7.
HK.
I look down, and the angry brows come out.
Mr. Featherlight, that is not a wise
What?
introduction.
Oh, well, I was wondering if he were hollow. Apparently not.
Firebrand, is that
I'm
it?
solid.
What is this imp? This hobbit? What is? What
This
is?
is-
What do we
This
go? What do
is
we?
Mr. Cole Featherlight of the Winter Court.
So,
Oh,
if
really?
we're not going to pursue this fracas to its inevitable stupid conclusion, perhaps we should get off the street?
I agree.
Where were you on your way to?
Would you care to join us to our destination,
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mr.
That's what we
Featherlight?
were sent here for.
Russell is going to nod and kind of gesture with her head in the direction she's going to lead, and that's going to be back towards. She's going to forego going to her parents' house at this point.
Okay.
Good news. Good news. Where we're going, your friends will fit right in.
Right. And she's going to go and direct everybody towards, what was it, the Alley Cat?
Yeah.
Is that where I said I was going?
Yep.
As we walk, how many hit points are you still down, Cole?
4.
Okay. As we walk, Zedard will put her hand on her shoulder and lay on hands you for those 4 points. And say, I do like your style, but perhaps a bit too flashy.
Zindred, also please roll an insight check, please.
13.
You just happen to notice that the bodyguards, because you have a very distinct relationship with the Obsidian Raven, that these guys don't really seem to be overly too protective now over Cole. In some aspects, they don't seem to hold the same respect demeanor in that type of bodyguarding.
They aren't showing Cole the same respect that one guy was showing his leader? Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. Well, I mean, you just see like it's not like Rydell, who's like wherever you go, he's going. Like he wasn't paying attention to that movement, because you know if that was an Obsidian Raven, so no one touching one of you, that there would be more eyes and quick. They don't seem to, like, they've kind of gone like whatever.
Like they don't respect him, or like they're not worried he can handle himself?
You're not sure. It's just there's
Okay.
something. It's just not the same that you would garner from your people. He doesn't have that same level.
Fair enough. And that could also probably be summarized in my statement of too flashy.
Possibly.
As we're walking, I'm going to lean down to Cole and say, Mr. Featherlight, I know you may not be versed in the Warforged from the Fey realm where you're from, but knocking on them to see if they're hollow, not polite.
He was
I
my
will keep
first
that in
Warforged.
mind.
He was my first Warforged as well, and unfortunately, I may have caused offense myself before I got used to it.
Think of him as you would any other person.
Zindred, you
Because
cause
that's
the
fully
best
formed
as you open your mouth half the time.
being. And my
Thank
best
you.
friend.
I shall keep that in mind.
Now,
Jew,
Ben.
you're
I
up
just
there.
like-
Don't be offended.
I
You're
thought
up there,
everybody
buddy.
liked a nice good ribbing. That seems to be the banter that goes about the group. Am I hounding you too much?
No. So funny with the jokes.
Inside joke, Cole. You'll get it later.
Jen, what was your question?
My question was, being the court that Russell is from, does she naturally trust Cole, or does she
Absolutely.
naturally give him distrust?
They are the Unseelie. You are from, you are also the same, but the Unseelie courts don't really work very well towards each other.
Okay.
Work well together. But the Winter Court is probably the most nasty of the Fae. they're not inherently evil. They just don't particularly get along with a lot of other people. So
Well, since
you're,
winter is opposite from summer, I didn't know if that meant we were completely in opposition of each other. So that's where
Yeah.
I was trying to go.
yeah, the warning bells in your little head are like, this is a little too
Ringing.
sort of convenient, maybe. If there's got to be
Yep.
like some other agenda, because nothing really was answered why, just that who sent her. And Lady Justia would be a very huge powerhouse of deciding why that would happen. And
Yep.
these guys do seem to have some type of history in terms of who they are, but you just can't seem to quite remember who they are or what they were really representing.
Okay.
Which is something we can get a table at the Alley Cat and get into some talking.
Sure. All right.
As we're
Rather,
walking
rather
there-
than this random street.
What does Jew's face actually look like? Like, I can see everyone else's miniatures pretty clearly, kind of give an idea of what they look like, but your
it's a
miniatures
ma-
are
it's a mask.
Just an
Okay.
ugly barbarian.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's a mask. Okay, yeah.
I think you made that figure with a mask, right?
Yeah,
I
the
think so,
Oriental
yeah.
mask.
Yeah.
Can you describe what the mask looks like? I assume your character wears a mask. Can you describe what it looks like?
It's just a half mask, so it covers like little prolonged nose, and then
It's similar to a muzzle you would put on a werewolf. I mean, a dog.
very muzzle-like.
Okay.
Then, as we're walking, HK would like to
I don't
utilize
wear it
his know your enemy feature. Once we hit about a minute, he basically you would tell me if the creature is my equal, superior, or inferior in regards to two of the following characteristics. And the two I'm choosing are current hit points and total class levels.
All right. So the little guy Cole is they're not. He's probably the closest to you in skill. So he's a level 11. And what is your hit points, Cole? I didn't write those down.
69.
So you get 69 hit points.
Okay.
So you just get level, right? Is that what you're asking?
Actually, I just get superior, equal, or inferior.
Okay.
I don't get the actual specifics. So,
So none of them will hit your hit point level, but what you will notice about these guys, and part of roleplay aspect of the story is, these four individuals are killers. Like, you can literally tell they're not just soldiers; they're killers. There's a gain about them. There's a confidence about them. There's this aspect of arrogance, and they move with precision, muscle, lethality that you can tell. Like, you can just there's a very aspect you've seen in soldiers before them that probably groups them around elite special forces type of individuals.
okay.
While HK has been doing this and we've been walking and I've been talking, I've been veering my way slowly as we go so that HK is right next to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Knowing HK and I's dynamic and what he can do, I make sure
I
that
would
position
definitely be
myself
in that
next
position
to
once I
him.
realize what I've just realized.
But I don't make it like I'm beelining right to him. It's more of a natural, slowly veering and progressing towards him.
Uh-huh.
Russell on the sly would have cast primeval awareness specifically to Fae within a mile.
Well, there's a bunch of Fae in this party.
and she knows to dismiss the ones she knows about.
They're Fae.
She's looking for any new Fae
Yeah, they're all Fae.
things.
They're exactly what they seem to be. They're Winter Court Fae.
Okay.
They're just as Fae touched as all of you.
Okay. And like I said, she's directing everybody towards the alley cat.
Yep. As soon as you guys are done, your paranoia will.
I will bring up the rear.
Okay.
Doggy.
All right, you guys get to the alley cat. It is a 4-story building. It is one of the largest in the city, but it's Zindred, you are disgusted. It smells gross. There is litter. There is trash. You are sure you smell people who urine and other things possibly about.
In the building or just this area of the city?
Both outside. Well, outside the alley cat in this area and inside this building. It is pure filth. Like you've seen goblins in your slave pits keep better upkeep of their living conditions than this place.
Well, having grown up around the slave pits, she can keep her face pretty schooled, but she's probably wrinkling her nose a little bit.
Laura actually will look to you guys and go, "Are you seriously going to go in there?"
Best Hobbs Fist in town.
What is Hobbs Piss?
It's not
Oh.
what you're smelling.
You gotta talk to Jew for that. A real connoisseur.
I assume, Laura, that once we get in there, we'll actually meet this man named Hobb, and we'll be able to see it come from the source.
My lady,
But-
must I go into this den of filth?
If you would prefer to remain outside, keep watch from the roof.
I would way prefer that. Although,
Before you go, Laura, let me step aside with you. And
Zindred raises an eyebrow.
HK will take a brief moment to step away with Laura, and I will fill as quietly as possible with my back to them, so in case they can read metallic lips, they are not able to. And I will fill in Laura with the information I gleaned about these two. And I'll say, it seems as though we may not have to worry about them, but just in case, I want you to know what I know. If they are true killers, you are our true killer. You'll do what you need to do to protect your lady and this mission. I have no doubts. But I'm going to make sure you have all the information to do just that if it comes down to it.
you're real funny. You're real funny when you flirt like that.
Trust me when I tell you, I am not flirting. This is what I do. This is the job.
Then why am I turned on?
I will wait for my lady to.
That's what Laura said.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't particularly like HK though. But she likes the Jonah. She
He
likes.
keeps trying to get her to like him, though.
She likes Juba.
Honestly, when she when she mentioned the smell and everything else, Russell would have come out with a little chortle like a kid.
If she
Like
hates
a little
the smell, why
giggle.
does she like Jew?
All right, so everybody else is gonna go inside, so you will not have.
Don't
Yeah.
be jealous. Fire.
We have to remember that when we came here before HK, we were not. That never happened. So we don't actually know the proprietor. We don't know anything.
Pretty sure the proprietor is the same. Just
Yeah, but she would not remember meeting us because that never happened.
Right. We can't
far as
act
we
as if
know.
we've been here before is the issue.
Yeah.
All
Because the will seem
This
crazy.
place is littered.
Somehow this doesn't seem difficult to me.
This place is populated with hobgoblins, goblins, a few orcs, other humans, a couple half elves, a few dwarves, all drinking away. It's loud, it's rowdy, it's filled with smoke, and there's tons of conversation. Some people look at you because you're quite a diverse and odd band, but again, you're in Fang Sport, so it doesn't take a moment for people to go back to their own business because they don't really give a shit what you guys are all about.
Ben, I want to do a quick scan just because we know that Arturo Blackscar would be in a place full of bullies. This is an obvious possibility.
Yep.
I'll do a quick scan to anybody that's standing out,
Perception.
sitting at the table. And
Russell's gonna
Being
do a quick
specifically
scan as
gluttonous.
yeah, with a
Russell.
yeah, exactly.
Russell will look as well, but she's specifically looking for Kenku.
Roll perception.
And Zindred is looking as well, but she's specifically looking for whomever she thinks
Oh, fuck me.
is the most dangerous person in this room besides our group.
Okay, roll.
Russell
perception.
rolled a 9.
9.
D&D Beyond hates me today.
It did me as well. All right, so you don't see him. You don't really see any other Kenku that are really coming out of it. And Zidrid, what was your perception check?
We're inside, so normal roll 28.
You could slaughter everybody in this building.
Okay, she relaxes a little bit, but still stays close to the squishies.
Good to know.
HK notices her relaxation and knows that typically means she's confident.
You probably would note the scan of the room too.
Yeah. All right, so you get a large enough table, and scurry off a few goblins till you guys have enough space to take over that.
Zindra, do you notice me looking around? Zindra would notice me looking around, going, "Yep, made of wood. That's flammable." Yeah. All right.
That's also why she knows all of the exits. Actually, she also knows the exits.
I'm gonna ask my 3 orc companions if they want to bother going in.
They'll go in. They don't give a shit. They'll find out what's going on. Kids, they still think you're gonna get in a fight. So.
Are we good? So we're gonna get a table.
Yep.
Are they gonna go to the bar, or are they gonna come to the
Is there-
table?
I'm assuming
Is there
What's their
like 2
position?
stories? Is there 2 stories to this?
4 stories.
Can I, like, go into the alleyway next to it and climb up and go in through a different entrance instead of the front door?
I might add you're going in with this party with an intent for them to talk to you. So kind of like heading off in a direct direction may be kind of like not kosher.
Yeah. If you then leave to come back a different way, it's gonna be highly
So the
suspicious.
entire party.
Yeah.
Not the time you slip off into the shadows
Yeah.
to circle around behind us.
The
Oh,
entire-
he's up to
the
he's up
entire
to no
party
good.
now, the entire party minus Laura are going to get a large table. Like I said, you shoo off because the size of Warforges and Dark Elves to shoo off any goblins enough to have enough space. So all of you are at a table.
Do they have a private room?
There's no way.
Even so the orcs are sitting down with us as well.
Everyone except
Okay.
Laura.
Okay.
And
I will-
a human
I
with
will buy.
blonde hair will come up to you guys and go, "How many drinks?"
I'm gonna order. I'll order a hob's piss for each of the orcs.
I
Cole,
will.
what would you care for? What's your pleasure?
You know what I want.
What's the best thing you've got?
If you want to, you can buy it yourself.
We have
You've got all the money,
uh,
Governor.
we have.
That was at
Hobgoblin.
another time.
There's
Another time
only Hob's
lying.
nectar. That's why I'm asking, how many drinks do you guys want?
I'm actually going to hold up my hand when Firebrand says he'll buy a drink for each of the hobgoblins. I will actually change that order. I will put coin out and say I would like a pitcher of Hobbs piss for these 2 and my friend Jew.
Oh,
Okay.
I already ordered one for Jew, so Jew's getting 2.
How many coins?
One for each fist. One for each fist.
What coins? What coins did you put down?
I got you. Drew.
I'm
I got you.
going to put down a gold, and that should cover everything this whole table's going to need.
Her eyes light up and she goes, "Yeah," and then she heads out. As she takes it.
Zendra did not order anything, and as the waitress walks away, she says, "I lost all interest in food or drink about 4 streets ago."
I'm gonna
Order the
lean
most
in.
pungent wine you can think of, and it will cover the stench.
I'm gonna lean into HK and say, and just whisper to him,
That was my idea.
"Careful flashing your money. This might be what got us into trouble last time we were here."
And I'm sure that the alcohol would sterilize the sludge left in the bottom of the mug as well, but I prefer not to take the chance.
T will also.
Which
Jew
is-
has already done 2 pictures by the time you think that.
Before she would have walked away, Russell would have looked at HK, smirked, because of she remembers about a month ago when she first met him, and looked at him and said, "A tankard of Hobbs piss," in a completely different voice than his.
And
Oh, Russell. Russell, I look at Russell and I say, "Home?"
And she'll nod and chuckle.
I take out the most fragrant oil that I have and offer that to Zendrid. If you dab this under your nose, it should help.
Oh, please. I've stood in slave pits far worse than the stench of this place.
T
I
reaches
simply
up.
I'm
wouldn't
sorry.
eat here.
T reaches
I
up,
wouldn't-
grabs it. takes it, puts it underneath the nose, and gives it back. Oh yeah, that's better.
Wait, who did?
The little
T.
halfling.
Oh.
My halfling, yes.
So are we going to talk about our new friends and why they're here and what's going on?
Too early to call anybody friends, but
Trying to be nice.
so Cole.
It's a fair description. Everyone's still alive.
Cole, now that we're sitting down conversing, care to elaborate on what brought you here
Well, I've already told you about
and why we should all of a sudden trust you?
Trust is a tough one. Well, I mean, I don't really trust people. I don't trust anybody. I don't even trust these three. But, you know.
So you've got
I
trust
wouldn't-
issues. Noted.
I wouldn't trust them either, but why should we be conversing with you maybe then?
Well, because I was sent here to help you.
What
I mean,
brought you
if
here?
you
What
don't really need the help, then you must
with
be able
what?
to take the Knights of Nine on your own.
Care to elaborate?
You're hunting.
Well,
Okay, so you're here to help with the Knights of Nine.
Yep.
but of course.
Okay. What else? Do you know anything? Do you know anything about what we are doing?
Causing
No.
trouble.
So you're on a blind mission to help us.
Sent simply to help Firebrand defeat the Knights of Nine in the Shadow Court.
The Shadow Court is
I must listen to my lady.
agitated. The Knights of Nine are more active than ever.
I'm impressed that and happy that the Winter Court would see that we have a mutual adversary in the Unseated Court at this time. Things are happening. I don't know how much you know about
Well, after
what we're doing and the things at large that are happening, but there's a lot going on.
I know how deadly the Knights of Nine are, so that was enough for me to come and help.
Yeah.
I do have vengeance to pay.
I was about to ask what's in it for you.
We do know how deadly they are too, which is why am more than willing to sit down and talk to you, because any help against them is welcome. They are quite strong.
They've taken much from me, so the least I can do is help
So
destroy them.
your lady did not give you any clue about what else we are doing. Did she instruct you to only help us fight the Knights of the Nine, or to go along with us as a companion and work with us towards our other goals?
I believe my primary objective is to help you defeat the Knights of Nine in the Shadow Court. Mind you, if there's things that you have to accomplish along the way, I am here.
Because we have the Knights of the Nine are, as crazy as it might sound, just one of many adversaries that we are facing at this point, and
What other enemies have you
groups
guys
that we
encountered?
But should you wish the Knights of Nine, simply wait. They'll show up.
Yeah, as we found as working towards our other goals, they will show up when they show up. We don't have to look for them.
And to be clear, you will take our lead. We have different plans for different nights as to how we will achieve our goals.
The server brings the pictures and
You-
puts them up
you
on
did
the
not-
table.
You weren't formally introduced to HK. He is our battle master. He's the one who we defer to in terms of formations and how we handle
Thank you.
any encounters.
The Tin Man.
See, now you remember when I was saying I was
Not made
previously
it sense.
offensive? One of the things I did was come up with euphemisms like that. It's not taken well. Just a heads up.
Yeah. Not made of tin. He is
Come on there,
a
Featherlight. Don't be short with him.
And I could also,
he's a proud warrior, father.
and I can also
A
tell you,
father.
having gotten to know him,
Father.
he is just as much a being as you and I. He truly is. And I apologized many times over for my treatment when I first joined the group. But
He's not somebody to treat as a object. He's a
And
member
the
of a
minute-
group. He's a fully formed person. He has his own mind.
The minute he would
And
have
if
said
you
the
cross
word,
it,
the minute he would have said the word Tin Man, Russell would have clacked her beak in irritation.
Allow me to offer you words from my people, if you will. Heed the words of the Warforged Legion. The battlefield is home. The fight is the heart. Be you not a soldier of the Forge, know that this is not your home. Be you an enemy of the Forge, know that we bring our home with us. Within these gates lies the soldiers of the Forge. Enter at your own risk, for we long for our homes and our hearth. You, sir, have been given the admonition of the Warforged Legions. Don't ever call me Tin Man again.
You got it, Sparky. Anyway, so Firebrand, you seem to say that, I mean, well, the way that you put it, you've made many, many enemies. At least it sounds this way.
I'm guessing you've made yourself some enemies since you're running around with Heavy D and the boys as bodyguards.
and
Oh no,
Russ-
I'm just here
and,
because
and
you're
giving your
friend with me.
mouth.
As soon as Firebrand says those words, "You've made enemies," Russell will casually, if you can, like sink a dagger, like flip a dagger into the table in front of Cole. Just casually flip it.
We have adversaries.
Impressive skills, Bert. Impressive skills. So, Ben, do I know that this is a Kenku, or am I just winging it?
No, you know, Kinkley.
Okay. You like that, right?
Bada bum bum.
They're
Okay.
extremely rare. You've not seen many of them. But.
Okay. Now, Firebrand, did you respond to when I said it seems like you made many enemies?
We have adversaries. We have a larger mission that we're on. The Knights of the Nine are not our main goal, our main adversary. They are just there to plague us as we go about our larger mission.
There are much
They
larger
are
things
the-
at work in the world.
We have goals that affect the whole world, not just many realms, not just one.
Suffice it to say that
We've
to
got
meet
large
greater
missions. We
goals,
probably don't know a lot about that.
we have to deal with each of the 9. So if you're here to help with that, we will accept your assistance, but you will have to follow our lead.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the barbarian through his muzzle. What was that?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to talk down to you, but I can't help. It's just, you're there.
Mhm.
That's okay. Sometimes I have to punch up.
Barkeep, could we get a tape measure?
Excuse me.
Never mind.
You come in here being so flippant, yet I get the feeling you have none such idea of the path you are placing yourself on. You speak of vengeance, and you speak you've been sent here to help, but do you truly understand what it is that you are placing yourself in front of? We are the instruments of the gods. We are on a path to defeat the plan of Hades. Now, historically, and for all time, his plans have failed, but it is only through the efforts of mortals that these plans fail. We have in our sights the god of the underworld. We don't have a mortal opponent. We don't have a minor opponent. We are in the chess game against a god. And here you come, speaking so flippant and passing yourself off as macho, and very little do you know what you are seeking to join.
Very little indeed.
Very little.
But I am amused that you believe that this is macho-ness. I am not macho by any means.
I think Oleski may have misspoken. Arrogance might be a better term.
I am quite arrogant, but that's okay.
It is okay. It has its place. This is not it.
You'll get used to it. It's the best way to be cold.
By your words, you're not a knight of your court, yet you stand in the company of a knight of another court and don't give him his due or respect. You stand in the company of a warrior who has faced every opponent that has come against him, and he has walked away where others haven't. You, sir, show us nothing, only words. Until you prove that you can stand with these gentlemen, don't try.
Oh, I could never stand with them. I mean, look at my height.
And Bertrand would have cleared her throat right after you.
I don't think Bertrand's here.
I'm sorry. I did say Bertrand. I'm so sorry. I meant Russell. Russell would have cleared her throat. And
That's the
One of
D&D
my-
identity crisis.
One
That's
of my
the hard
characters
part
clears
about
their
Roar.
throat.
Right? One of the many with the two, one of the two rangers is going to clear her throat, and yeah, there we go.
HK will say it does not matter your height. What matters is your skill and your determination to do the job. If you have that, we will have you at our side. But again, you need to understand how we operate. In all manners, Firebrand is our leader. On the battlefield, I am our tactical leader. And we look to Oleski for spiritual guidance. Of late, we have not followed that as much as we probably should have, but it is definitely something that we shall endeavor to do more.
Spiritual guidance. Why are you their spiritual guide, Alexi?
You stand in the presence of the scion of the gods.
Does Alexi look like a normal person?
He's very, very handsome for a human. Like he is absolutely.
He has
beautiful.
a glowing tan.
It's true that I sometimes have the ear of the gods, or at least my grandfather Apollo. And in that vein, I'm often consulted on how the gods might react or consider our actions.
We all have titles.
That's,
We all have impressive lineages. Cole,
it does seem that way.
you are amongst peers, at the least.
Oh, I mean, to be frank, I don't think I am quite as, I don't know how you would say it, high as the rest of you. I mean, Zindrid, you seem to be some type of priestess of the drow, I would imagine.
I'm not a priestess, no.
I think what
Well,
Zindrid is trying
with
to
your
say
followers,
is
it seems
treat
like
us with respect.
you're
And
quite,
you can get
no.
it in return.
So Zendrid is like decked out straight up like a warrior paladin. You probably would guess along those lines over priest or priestess from the beginning, but she does not offer anything else yet. She hasn't decided what to make of you.
But one of the things you will note that she is carrying a weapon that you know is associated with the Raven Queen, which is a fey being that you're aware of. So,
Strongly associated.
Yes. So much like your companion has you have some oppressive weapons, she is possessing an oppressive weapon. The three of them that you've seen are the Dark Elves are very militarily uniformed. Not looking very priestly, but they do look very much similar to what your guys are as an order.
Okay.
But they don't match at all.
They don't match at all.
Like the people, Shadow Smite and Rydell, my two followers that are still with me, very, very, very different vibes.
I prefer you to stay in the shadows, as you would say. I'm told what to do for my lady, and I perform the actions, and that's what I do. I do my duty. So, nice to meet you, HK, I believe you said it was.
I am Hephaestus Kenrick, designation HK of the Warforged Legions. Of late, I am a member and the tactical leader within the Order of the White Flame.
Is this the Order of the White Flame? Is that what you are all known as?
Yes.
And you have known me as Firebrand. Once upon a time, in a former life, I was known as Alaron. That's my given name. Before I traveled through time and both sides of the mortal plane.
Okay.
Cole,
Choose just you.
Cole, you will know that Firebrand is heavily favored by the Summer Queen.
Yeah,
This is
I
why-
figure that since he's the knight of the summer. Obviously, he's not my knight, so that's why I don't give him the same.
No, but the difference with him, though, is the queen has been involved with him. Like, most of the queens have their respective individuals, and they go off and do some things on their own and stuff. But they don't often do, like, they don't often get as quest movie as much as they're doing with Firebrand. Like, what Queen Titania is doing seems to be very, like, it is affecting the Fae courts. This is why this bargain of putting you and others in play. Because you do know that there are Fae amongst this group, and not all of them have been of the summer. So this coalition is a formation outside of that parameter because Queen Titania is doing much more, like opposing the Shadow Queen, it seems.
Okay.
So your respect level to him is a little bit more different because of this is all happening because of what his queen is doing. So slighting her could mean much ramifications, not only for you, but the court itself, the Winter Court, and your lady.
It seems to me that perhaps you're also here
Okay.
with the movings and shiftings of the world and the ramifications to perhaps let your court have a representation in this grand endeavor as well.
If you ain't with us, you're against us.
Probably a very good way to put it, Zindrid. Quite well spoken. I look forward to your tactics, HK.
Yes.
The battlefield is where I choose to be as often as I can be.
So HK is aware of what you're bringing to the table. You might want to discuss with him what your preferred role on the battlefield is, where you prefer to be in his given formations because he is our battle leader. He might want to know where you tend to be in the fray.
The big orcs
Usually
are
I'm the one.
vanguard.
Yeah. So normally I'm in the vanguard. I tend to be away from the rest, and I provide support. I provide it very well, I think.
Are you a ranged operative? Or are you one who prefers stealth and melee?
I definitely prefer stealth as a ranged operative.
Zendard smiles slightly, just that one side curling up.
Russell will raise an eyebrow.
But even in the front lines, shall you need any aid from me, you can always count on me to have your back.
It sounds as though perhaps using Shadow Smite on one flank and Coal on the other might be effective.
Yes, I would concur.
Shadow Smite is also a ranged operative, a ranger of some sort, perhaps.
She's not here.
She
The one that was
also prefers
outside,
stealth.
correct?
She moves in and out as needed. But she also prefers stealth and works from the flanks for support.
Yes.
Very good. Perhaps her and I can talk notes.
Rydell laughs.
HK, I don't know if we are going to be meeting anybody in a pit in a group scenario. Maybe one of Cole's friends might be somebody on the front lines with you and you.
I would take their leader with Jew and myself. I am confident in his capabilities. He does not necessarily seem to be quite as naturally talented as Jew, nor as specifically trained as myself. That third in-between option would probably go well with what we do.
The big guy's kind of chuckling.
He looks at him and then says, "I didn't catch your name."
Rexar Blade. I am of the Winter Hand. Lady Justia's elite guard.
Oh, you know what? I might as well have them introduce themselves. They're gonna be around for a while. Go ahead. I look at the female one.
She goes, I'm Z.
And then I look at the last.
Jurex.
These guys are a hoot. Whew. Can't stop you from laughing.
I look at C, and your area of expertise?
We're all the same.
Jokesters. Regular jokesters.
Vanguard. We fight. We punch.
Vanguard, yeah.
We crush. We cut. We kill.
The impractical jokers.
Quite. Is there anything to eat in
All right, so I think maybe on.
Sure. I'll bring you some a pig, and serve her walk away.
I mean,
Pig sounds alright.
just don't ask what it is.
I mean, she said it was a pig, did she not?
Just eat it. Don't ask what it is.
Has anyone drinking anything from the pitchers?
Lips and assholes.
Of course I have been.
No.
Nope.
I have nothing.
Juice fine. He's drinking.
Russell will have had her tankard of Hobbs piss.
Okay.
Hobbs piss.
Zendard has neither eaten nor drunk anything from this place.
Okay.
Occasionally sips out of her own personal water skin.
Scurvy.
Does the tankard taste like what she knows of Hobbs piss?
It is
Okay.
Hobbs nectar. By locals call it. The outside people call it Hobbs piss.
Juicy. Hobbs nectar.
That's an interesting thing to know. That might be why we had problems here the first time.
It doesn't make the name. Yeah, that doesn't make it any better.
We walked in and HK said, "My friend will take a Hobbs piss. Do you have change for 10 gold?" I don't know why they came after us.
Zindrid, HK will hand you a small bit of rations so you have something to eat.
To nibble on.
She takes it and says, "Thank you, I have some," and she crunches it to be polite.
Yeah. HK wasn't going to eat it anyway.
Like, I literally carry it.
She wonders why he has it.
Because I can carry stuff. Like, I'm big, I'm powerful, I can carry a lot of weight, so I will carry extra provisions for the group.
You know how much beef jerky this guy can carry? A lot.
He is beef jerky.
Right, she
Well,
goes,
after her original round of nicknames for him, she had already decided that Mule was out.
she goes,
Now
She hadn't
that
settled on
everybody-
Jackass yet.
Now that
Now
everybody's
beef jerky's in
decided
play.
who's tough and whatever, and who's all the smartasses and shit, can we figure out what the next plan is to find this stupid elf guy?
Well, we have to decide which one we're gonna find. I think we need a little more information on what's been going on in the city. Russell hasn't been here a long time. We haven't been here in this time, so.
Oh,
I
right.
was I was gonna say, if the conversation looked like it didn't need Russell and things were relaxing towards the newcomer, Russell may have made contact with T and quietly slipped away.
Give me an insight check then.
Insight?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I can still hear stepping away from the camera.
That's not great. That's a 6.
You're really unsure if this is still going to be a fight. Cole seems to still like jabbing conversation at everyone that could at any point just piss somebody off and fight. The orcs look like they're ready to fight anyways because they just haven't really sounded like they're friendly.
Then Russell will still be there.
Right. Okay. So T will drum her fingers on the table.
What exactly brought you guys here? I mean, this doesn't seem like really the nicest city.
Well, I'm sure your queen has filled you in completely on our mission and our goals here in the city, and you're here to help, right? So you must have some valuable information to provide to us.
In fact, she didn't tell me anything about the city.
There's someone here we must find.
And this is for your endeavor against the Knights of Nine, or for a different endeavor?
The Knights of Nine oppose our main endeavor, so all endeavors lead to the Knights of Nine.
Now that we're back on land, they are probably en route and will join us shortly here in the city somewhere.
Where have you come from? Actually, I suppose if I was tracking them, I already know where they came from.
You knew,
Right,
they were,
Ben?
you knew they were leaving Lockett, and then had a feeling that, or were kind of suggested they were going to be here, so that's why you waited for things for it.
Okay. So,
So Russell, he's not there. Damn.
I'm here.
Aha.
I'm listening.
So Russell,
It's another table.
She's in the bathroom. Oh,
Not really. Not so.
do you have?
Please,
do
you think I'm gonna talk to you on the bathtub? You know, on the toilet? Come on, man.
well, it was brought up before.
Do you have any contacts that can get us any information on how we can get into the fighting pits and get an overall feel of the city?
Fighting this, huh?
She will glance at T and then glance back and go, Mada?
She thinks her father.
Alright, so is he
Server goes,
involved with
you
fraud
guys
and
are
slate?
looking for a fight? That's easy. Just enter. And she puts down
And she
plates
nods.
of pigs.
She puts down what?
Or plates of the pig's ham.
Here you go, lips and buttholes.
Doesn't look that good either.
I'm eating it.
I'm
So
digging
you
it.
said it looked surprisingly good. I mean, Zindra might have tried it. She's eaten on the battlefield. She's eaten some nasty shit when she's gotta, but
This is
right now
very
she don't gotta.
low quality diet. But you want to stop the server from leaving?
Sure.
Okay. She goes,
Hold on. What?
yes?
What were you saying about just entering? Tell us,
Oh,
please.
Frog and Slate, they love open invitation parties. All you gotta do-
Where?
You just gotta go to the tavern and make a mention over there and they'll
Which tavern? Sorry, we're not.
Frog and Slate, I believe she just said.
yeah, they're
Well, that's the name of the gang. I don't
Oh, I'm
believe
sorry.
it's the name
I'm
of the tavern.
new here.
I'm sure I have it somewhere. What their headquarters is.
I don't recognize that one.
yeah, it's the Mermaid's Embrace. The Mermaid's Embrace.
Okay.
yeah. just
You
talk-
said it earlier, Russell.
Just talk to
I-
just talk to North, and he'll contact you. But let you know it's not for everybody, and not for a lot of people. There's a number on so-called pit pipes.
Do you know, has there been any recent champions of note?
I don't go up there. I'm sorry. I just serve down here in this lovely establishment.
Would anybody around here know if there's anybody to look out for that's been winning a lot?
You'd have to go to that tavern. I'm sure you could get more information. That's where people are interested in here. Sorry, this is the alley cat. You know, we just gotta survive, gotta get by, and work for old Hobbs.
Well, I'm
Russell
gonna go
will-
check it out.
Russell will look at her and go, "Where's Soren?"
I don't know. I haven't really left the establishment here, and I haven't seen. I mean, so many people come and go out here. I don't catch everyone's name.
You don't know who that is, or you don't know where they are.
I never heard the name. I don't know where he would be or whoever she is. I'm just a simple servant girl here.
What's the look on Russell's face when she says that she doesn't know who that is?
Frustration.
My
Is that
thanks.
Russell? Is that
And I
Russell's
put
dad?
silver into the
Or is
girl's
that-
hand.
Okay, she thanks you and leaves.
Can I get
What
an
did you-
insight check on the server as she gave that response?
Sure.
I was gonna say I'm not at the desk to roll a die, but I want to.
Russell, is that your da, or is that somebody else?
She'll nod.
That's an 11.
Okay. Hmm.
Seems fine. You're not really sure. She's having
Ru-
a call.
Russell's looking for her family while we're here. Assistance
Oh.
from her family. That's her father, who she was asking about.
Okay.
Ah. Apologies.
Russell, do you want to go by your home?
She'll nod
we
again.
go? I think we could make time to make a detour to Russell's home before we go to the mermaid.
Aren't we supposed to arrange a place to stay? And wasn't this the agreed upon location to do that?
I will not sleep here if there are other places in the city.
Right out, whisper.
Russ?
Thank God.
Russell will kind of nod and go, the mermaid's embrace.
Okay, so
That's where we're going to be staying anyway.
Then
We
let's,
could.
then let's go.
the bar associated with the fighting pits is where we want to stay.
Yeah, why not? Let's
Okay.
check it out.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Sound tactical advice.
There is, and not for all of us, but there is a crazy option perhaps for Zindrid. There are others of your race operating here in the city in the tunnels beneath the central island. But I don't know how much they know in relation to your family, and or if there would be any type of potential cooperation between different enclaves of your people. I'm not exactly sure how things work from area to area.
Benito, do I know anything about drow that would be in this area?
You know your uncle was saying that, but you don't know if
saying
any
that on
other
there
larger
yesterday.
contingent
Really?
that was placed here.
They were, yeah, that's possible. There
Did you
may
know while I
be,
was quarantined?
they may know me, but they also may be allied against me. And without any way to know, I'm not certain that that's an avenue we should approach.
Yeah, but definitely I wanted to, it came to me after we were thinking about things, that there are other people of your kind here in the city, so something else to keep watch on.
As a last minute emergency out or safe haven, very possibly, but let's tread lightly there if we can.
But does Russell know anything about this underground?
You don't know anything about drow in the city.
Okay.
What are they doing here, out of curiosity?
As a last minute, it would make sense. Drow, forgive me if I'm being pejorative, are not likely to attack first. They will assess first. We could get a temporary reprieve while they assess what actions they would take against us. So while it may be a bit of a frying pan into the fire situation,
Oh, indeed.
at least that fire would not be immediate. So if we
Yes.
have to escape, that would be a good place to go.
If nothing else, we would be granted immediate temporary asylum from the surface dwellers, just based on who I am. But whether or not it would go well from there.
And from our previous experience with this city, we can probably also safely assume that word of you and your cohorts being open on the street have already reached their ears.
Right, that would be a
Possible.
little more likely your guys in danger to the court of the Fang than us, with our people about.
Particularly since our people were previously, it seems, working with the Court of the Fang. Yes, indeed. That's one of the reasons why I'm not entirely certain we should approach them if we can help it.
Yeah. So you guys are gonna head on the streets to the other place?
I believe it sounded as though we may be swinging by Russell's house first to see if Pa's at home.
Yeah.
Pop in for tea and crumpets. Maybe a cracker for Polly.
Thanks. Russell will honestly want to lead people towards the mermaid's embrace and possibly try to sneak away to go look at her old domicile.
Yeah, they don't seem to pick up on any of that.
I think Zendrid may have picked up on that. Let me. With an insight of a dirty 20.
I was gonna say she's gonna be slightly uncomfortable about the idea of everybody following her to her mom's, her parents' house.
All right, give me a deception roll then.
Yeah, not gonna beat a dirty 20.
Okay.
So
Sen-
you don't. She's still leading your path. You wouldn't know you don't know where she's kind of leading you because you don't actually have a written map of as a legend. But you kind
Gotcha.
of know that
So-
she feels a little. She seems to be a little off in your interpretation of what she's doing.
Okay. All right. Well, not knowing exactly what's off, if she can get close enough, Zendrid will say to Russell, I get the feeling that you're not really wanting to share this part of your past with everybody, but we're not going to let you go anywhere in the city alone with as dangerous as it is right now.
Russell will look at them and kind of give a, like an acknowledging nod, but her words slightly indifferent is going to be like, I'll make that fire.
Zendrid pats Russell on the back and says, all right, good talk, and walks off.
It'll be okay, Russell. You can trust her. I have a good vibe.
That's T.
Yeah.
And she'll shrug kind of indifferently.
Okay.
Because
As you did, everyone will kind of notice that all of a sudden you guys are at the mermaid's kiss.
Embrace.
Embrace, yeah.
It is
Oh.
Let's see how big it is. It is a very exotic building.
Mm-hmm.
Very well built. Curving structures all across around it, instead of like being a very blocky type of inn. As you enter, it is filled with cloudy smokes from pipes. It's very mind swirling, kind of intoxicating. There are trophies of sahagin, sharks, sea lions, and a wormling blue dragon head that adorn the walls. And is a little busy, but not terribly busy.
As we approached, did the city become less?
Yes, it's become a lot cleaner. Moving to that, which is probably what got you on guard about what was happening with Russell.
I want to be keeping track of where we're going, how many doors we've passed, how many windows we've gone past, if anyone's in the windows.
Okay. Perception check, please.
$21.
There are definitely eyes clocking you. You don't know if it's more of a serious investigation on you, but more of a curiosity eye, just because you are a motley band of individuals consisting of dark elves, warforges, kenkus, amongst your
Now-
so.
Whatever the hell's yours.
Can I be trying to walk in a manner where if you were looking from like a window, it'd be very difficult to see me
Yeah, well,
amongst the others?
yeah, well, the other guy, there's between you, Rexar and HK, they are looming presence. It's easy enough to kind of keep an eye out of any eye from that. You and T seem to have very similar abilities in just kind of keeping not so easily to be tracked.
Okay.
Russell will have changed her demeanor from, where she was at to that, that kind of an atmosphere. Now, she knows this place. She's going to change her atmosphere to the energetic atmosphere that's in this place. inside the embrace, and she's going to like kind of jaunty herself on in. She looks like a different bird, if you will. And she's gonna find the prettiest server she can, honestly, and walk right up to them, and point back at Oleski and go, "He needs a good night."
Okay. You find a very pretty elven girl. And she goes, alright. So she walks up to you, Oleski. How are you evening folks doing? Do you need a table?
A table, a chair, a lap, absolutely.
Alright. So
Zendrid scans the room for whoever is the most dangerous person in there besides the people in their party.
Once again, a perception check.
Do I notice?
Can I give that as well?
31, natural 20.
Oh shit. What was your question, Cole?
Do I notice that Zindra does this when she walks into a room?
I'm going to say at your size, no. And it's kind of a haughtiness about. She's very, as a noble ability of hers, it's very easy for her to just kind of casually do this without anyone thinking that she's not just being a noble woman to do that. What were you doing, Russell?
I was joining that, and I just got a 6, so whatever.
Well, you definitely find a lot of pretty girls in this establishment.
Yep. To a bird.
Zindrid, you will notice the dwarven bartender, and he is definitely shady. Like you can tell, so to speak, an informant when you know an informant. Like in your society of the Dark Elves, you know someone who is good at tracking information and having that. This guy is low scale for your people, but he's definitely somebody of repute, probably at this place here.
Yeah, he's somebody's eyes and ears.
You also notice the woman that is now brought food and drinks for your party and sitting on Oleski's lap is also not. She is not as civilian as she appears.
Okay, damn, that's gonna be a problem.
As I go to sit in a chair, can I hop up on it for a moment before I sit to just kind of see like where the doors, where the entrances are to the bar, if there's anything that might be looking odd behind the bar, you know what I mean?
It is, this place is very exotic, like I said, and it's very smoky. It kind of plays with a lot of the deeper type of vision, stuff like that. So there could be a number of things hiding around this area. This place looks dangerous. You can see a tourist trap type of situation. Being Fae from where you come from, and the enticing and the alluring, and it's that obvious things of your to try to draw your attention, to keep away from the dangerous things for you not to notice. This doesn't seem Fae, but it seems very exotically mystical, arcana crafted. You definitely feel like on guard immediately when you kind of start pecking around at things. You're just like, you're meant to try to be at ease and try to enjoy this fantastic atmosphere, but you're starting to feel a sinister essence below it.
The difference in Russell between the two establishments, in the previous establishment, she was quiet, she was withdrawn, she was like trying to blend in, and all of a sudden, as soon as she walked through the door of this place, she's out. Every feather like suddenly looks shiny. She's like, yeah, I'm the party of the place. She's like outgoing and everything. Like she's blending in with the atmosphere.
All right. T will grab the pitcher and start pouring drinks and start drinking.
Zindrid is going to make her way over to Oleski and his new-found companion.
She is Elven, just to let you also know.
Okay. And say to Oleski, I'm very sorry. We'll find you another one.
But I like
And then looks at her and says, We're not your mark, hon. Beat it.
But I like him.
Move along now.
And I like you.
Zinder, please roll intimidation.
$11. Because I rolled a 2.
She goes, "Are you his girlfriend?"
Sindred, are you jealous? Really?
Can I see this going on?
Oh yeah, this is right at the
Russell
table.
is just shaking her head like,
The girl will put her arms around your neck, Alexi, and is going to see if Zindred is indeed jealous.
I look at Firebrand. She's the eyes and ears of someone. I don't have the patience for this. And she walks off.
You're muted.
Uh-oh, battery died.
No, we had this we had this last week. We couldn't hear him, but last week we're part of it.
Alexi, what are you doing?
I haven't let her go yet. I mean,
Yeah.
When Zindred walks away, she
Zindred
goes to
just
see if she
gotta
can
walk away.
find two to bring back.
Were you good? Were you bad?
You're going to two other girls?
Yeah, see if I can get Lusky to trade.
Alright, you find out there's a half-elf girl and two half-elf girls. Oh no, sorry. There's a half-elf girl and several half-elf women. I mean, human women. So 2 humans and 1 half-elf woman serving around.
I pay 3 of them to go convince Aleski that he'd rather be with them.
How much? How much you putting down?
What are they asking? She's not trying to rip anybody off. They're working girls.
Give them 10 gold each, and they'll each all do it. It's 30 gold.
That's a little steep. We're just gonna have to go with 2. I liked my first option better.
Okay, so 20 gold.
Yep.
All right. So 2 other girls will show up. They'll call up to you, Aleski, and they kind of like pull up their little
We got you. We can't see you, but we got you on vocal.
hindquarters on the end of the table and go, "Oh, you don't want to play with her. She's a real bore. Too small for you anyways." And
that's not true at all. I mean, you women are both exceptionally lovely, but I mean, first come, first serve, or first come, first serve.
oh, so like you go for all. Well, aren't you devilish indeed?
Oh boy.
So the elf will kind of get around. She'll do a back rub or a neck rub massage for you. The other girl will sit on your lap and take the place, while the other helps pour you drinks. And you're having a great time now, Aleski.
Unless
HK
goes to the
is
bar
going
and
to
gets a
take
drink
this
to discuss the
opportunity to find out. Basically, I'm going to use my ability. And
God damn Rico.
I don't know why you're doing this to me. This is usually Firebrand. Give me 1 second. Let me.
Compose yourself.
So if this place is kind of smoky and not comforting to me whatsoever, can I be stealthy and kind of just kind of find in a corner to watch people instead of just being out in the open?
Yeah, roll stealth, please. HK, what are you doing?
21.
I'm taking a look to get their general. Damn, this is not going to work well in this case. I'm going to go for dexterity score and total class levels. Are they superior, inferior, or equivalent to mine?
It's not going to be terribly useful. But
The two human girls are definitely way inferior. I mean, the elf girl doesn't seem to be particularly overall impressive in some aspects either. You do know that she's
my dexterity is only 13, so I'm not too hot in that stat.
The elven girl is better agile to you, but that can mean a number of things in this profession.
Yeah.
Flexibility over reach. Russell's gonna look around. I mean, it's an exotic place, so she's gonna look around and see if she sees any Kenku.
There are no Kenku here.
Okay.
Got Russell in the mood now too.
The dwarven guy goes to you, Zimmer, as you've gone to the bar, and go, what do you have, lady?
What wines do you have?
Someone of your stature, I have the Rose Bliss. Best there is. But I also have some exotic drinks, too, if you're more into something a little heavier. You seem pretty determined about your boyfriend over there.
She chuckles. Insight of a dirty 20 to determine if he's trying to get me to get a specific drink or has nefarious intentions in this whole conversation. Just his vibe.
He definitely wants
Your
to.
friendly
He definitely
bartender,
wants to
Cosby.
strike up a conversation with you. The drink more seems to be casual in line, much like you would expect from your time in the surface for a bartender. So you don't think he's nimble enough as a stocky dwarf to be doing something unless he pre-did it all. That's the only thing that you'd be worried about.
She'll take the wine. I'll take the wine.
All right. So he pours you a Rose Bliss. Slides it in front of you.
So I only came into town today, but I've already heard about the fighting pits.
Oh.
This is intriguing.
A dangerous bounty hunter girl of repute?
I definitely have some honest skill myself, but I was thinking possibly more of my companion, and I kind of nod my head towards Rydell, who looks much more the specimen.
He winks back at him. Yeah? You wouldn't be the first dark elves that have been entered in the pits.
Who do I talk to?
I can get word out to you if I just have a name.
My name is Zendrid. My name is Zendrid.
Well, Lady Zendrid, nice to meet you. My name's North Ordwell.
Ordwell?
I'm the proprietor of this place. And I'll let
Did
you
you
know.
Did you slay the monsters on the wall?
No, not me. Part of the many of the hunters that come in, show off their trophies. This is their place. I'm just a caretaker to make sure that people get to where they need to get and tell their tales and have their reputation and glory.
Just a simple barkeep, yes, I'm sure.
Yeah, simple barkeep with good connections for a great lady as your son.
Indeed.
What about the big fighting machine? Never seen one of them before. That could bring a lot of good coin.
He's not a machine, actually.
Oh.
That's a person.
Sorry? No, it's...
He's my friend HK.
Is he then one of those mysterious beings that come from Forstad?
Is that where he's from?
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. Don't get me wrong. When I first met him, I was taken aback as well. But he's quite a guy.
Sure. Yes. I see you have another.
If I were to decide to risk my man, who should I be worried he gets matched against?
Well, I don't set that up. I would get you in contact with a agent, and he will tell you how things work. I don't know that. I'm here to.
I simply meant, is there a name in the pit right now that's a local feared champion?
Yeah, I think
Who's high in the rankings? What's the word?
Who's the top dog?
There is well, there's some people moving up. There is Red Dog. He's one of my favorites. A dwarf himself.
Red Dog?
Red Dog. There's Skull Crusher.
DAWG.
I don't know how he's spelled.
Of course.
The Scarlet Saber. There is a popularity guy. Ricky is a huge favorite because he's a hill giant, so people love him quite a bit. And
Ricky?
just Ricky.
He's a hill giant.
I love it.
Do you really want great names out of these guys?
Wiki, short for Wikipedia. That's his name.
And
Are we not supposed to lose Ricky's number?
And I heard that there is a dark elf. That what did we just lost?
A dark elf what?
There is a dark elf that his name's Ace.
Ace?
Correct.
I didn't lose Ricky's number. It's A675309.
Yeah. He lives with Jenny.
Right?
From the block. From the block.
We're not movies tonight, Rico.
No, not tonight.
Not tonight. We're reaching back to the classic rock tunes.
Sorry,
Jeremy's like, how old are you, motherfucker?
for
Jesus.
people worry, I'm sorry, my phone has died. That's kind of like where all the little things have kind of fallen off. And
All right.
we're running the time anyways. So that's what I know. But I'll get in contact with an agent tomorrow, and if you come here tomorrow afternoon, I will make sure that he comes in and has a meal with you. And if you want to enter several of your fighters, you look like you have a number of them.
I was originally thinking about staying here,
Okay.
but to be honest, the smoky haze, I'm not sure I'd want to sleep above it. Is there somewhere nearby that you'd recommend?
Get you a nice room. I have something for if you're looking to do fighters. I could there's a personal house that I can set you guys up in. Just cost you 5
house.
gold, and it'll be under your name, Lady Zindred.
A house.
Air D&D.
Right?
Damn.
5 gold for an entire house. For how long?
Till you keep as long as you keep fighting.
Oh God, I totally overpaid those whores.
I think you get inspiration for that.
It is the reason why I can't get them off of your man.
Speaking of which, HK, what are we gonna do about Big Pimpin' over here?
Very well.
What did I ever do about you in similar situations? Just watch the door.
You waited for the timeline to come back around and fuck me.
Well, I will thank the bartender. Tip him a gold. And Zindred will head back over to the party and relay what she's learned and that she's secured lodging that may or may not be a trap. But at least it won't be in the smelly bar.
99.9% of true.
Yes, Admiral Akbar might be screaming in my head right now.
Okay. So you're all sitting at the bar. Alesky's not part of the conversation. He has friends, so they're enjoying. They're feeding him grapes and letting him drink, and he's getting a massage. So what the rest
Whenever
of you
she
like to do?
glances in that direction, Zindred looks woefully embarrassed for having had any part in this.
Embarrassed or jealous? I mean, can we
can't-
really tell the difference?
You can't
I
see
think-
her. There's too much body in front of you.
Yeah, I'd say Alesky in his fantasies can interpret it however he chose.
I think Alesky looked over and said there's room for one more.
So,
that's what she was afraid it was headed earlier when she walked away.
as the conversation progresses, I will, ask questions about their, their time here at the bar and those kinds of things. Getting around to, I'm not thinking that these are not working girls in a sense.
Oh, they're working.
But just gently gathering information and that kind of thing about the bar, about what they like about it, things like that.
Okay.
And then at some point in the middle there, I will get the eye of the elven woman, to take her hand in mind, look her in the eye. I am not yours, not lost in you, not lost, although I long to be. Lost as a candle lit at noon, lost as a snowflake in the sea.
Okay. I will let you know that
Smirks in her wine.
the red-haired woman, she will tell you her name is Haralada, Haralada. She's known as the Sweet. The other human woman is blonde with blue eyes. Her name is Yetta, Yetta. And the woman that you have now professed to is Nelda. She's known as the Doll. You guys will basically have seen this conversation going on about 15 minutes, and then progressively the three girls will take Aleski upstairs.
Hey, Firebrand, we're losing Shakespeare. Do we let him go, or
I
They're
will
giggling
go
and laughing.
upstairs and wait outside the door.
As though they're walking away, Zendred points at the elf again and says, "She's an agent of someone."
I'm aware.
Alright. Aleski, you are brought into a wild time for your evening. You will not be joining the rest of the party in their set house. You're gonna get what was that, a character in the Game of Thrones there?
Oh, Podrick?
Podrick. You're gonna get a Podrick experience.
I thought you were gonna give him like no sleep point, exhaustion points or something.
Well, this is
Well,
just
we
the
haven't
start.
reached the morning yet.
Yeah, this
Right?
is going where it's going right now. So, yeah. All right. So, Aleski is gone. The rest of you guys are now at the table. You still have some time. There is the
And now
other.
you're no longer being spied upon. You're welcome.
The half elf is still around, and there's a male half elf that are serving the room. So the male will take over and go. Can I get you folks anything else?
Zendred's gonna order whatever sounds good from their menu or meal for.
Okay.
This place looks like somewhere she can eat from,
Yes.
and she was not touching that nasty ham in the last place.
Yeah, the wine
She's
is
a little hungry.
amazing. The menu actually looks refined. Still not super high class, but it does look of high society enough to be.
She was just looking for edible,
Yeah. Okay.
without needing a tetanus shot.
This suffices that.
I mean, she has refined taste when she can get it, but she's a soldier. She's been in the dirty trenches eating the nasty, muddy food.
But I'm
She has
also pretty much elaborating that she's actually getting something that she could find as tasteful
and good and enjoy.
Yeah. Is where
it's funny you say that, Zendred, Alexi's in the dirty trenches eating
Oh,
Yeah, I kind of teed that one up for you, didn't I?
Once everybody starts to look comfortable, Russell will now try to slip away.
Roll stealth.
Stealth, you say? That'll be a 25.
oh, Jesus.
Can I see if I see?
Yeah, it's past your passive, so you're gonna have to make a perception
Yeah,
check to hit that.
She
Anyone
beat
wants
my
to roll.
passive, so I rolled it already and I failed.
Okay, yep.
Russell's giving us the Irish goodbye.
31.
Nice.
So you see her take off. Out the smoky door.
Interesting.
What do you do?
I am going to go to my childhood home and see if my family is there.
Okay. So you'll be off to doing that. That's going to be a bit of a walk.
Yep.
Okay. So Cole, do you follow or no?
Yeah, I'm going to.
And honestly,
Kinda
and I
whisper.
would have indicated to T that that's where I was going before I left.
Okay.
So she would have at least known that I was leaving and where I was going.
Okay. And Cole, you said yes?
I'm gonna whisper to my three. Hang out
Do we
here.
know-
Just kind
do we
of
notice him leaving?
make it seem like we're all still here.
Whatever.
So at the table, you tell them, "Hey, make it seem like I'm still here."
No, he's secretly whispering up. He's pretty stealthy too. All right. Well, you didn't really know he was
Hey,
gone
guys.
anyways. You guys weren't
Guys,
looking
I'm
for
still
him.
here.
Okay, so you follow. So you two are gone. So that leaves Firebrand, HK, Jew, Zindri.
HK who followed
Oh yeah,
Oleski.
sorry, you're gone too. So Firebrand,
Hey, Jew, there's
Ingrid,
no way
Rydell,
that we would notice we're the only people here.
and 3 orcs.
I mean, I'm too busy.
And I'm the only bird, so
Jew, there's no way that we would notice that everybody left.
Hey, where'd everybody go? Why is there more beer for us?
What would you guys like to do?
Seems like this is in our favor. Order another round and say, "Hey, more for us."
Are you drinking higher end alcohol or lower end?
Lower end, of course.
What do we look like? The elite?
Well, the bartender goes. I mean, the server goes. He's a male guy. He goes, "You, sir, look like you could use an Apollo's heart."
I'm still spending money from my job that disappeared when we switched timelines. I got a fixed income.
Well, lovely lady here's got some coin, indicating Zinder.
No, I think we're good where we are. Thank you though. So, have you guys noticed that it's just us and these orcs?
He goes, "Yeah."
Oh,
Russell wanted
Did I
to go see
note
your
it?
family. Sorry.
did I notice that Cole left?
No, because Cole was hiding earlier.
It's just us and the orcs. This is weird. Did any of you guys catch their names?
Zinder does look around. Where
I
did Russell? Damn it.
nope.
Zinder will go introduce herself. Walk right over to one.
Yorks?
Hey, big fella.
Yeah, start with the big one.
Okay.
I heard you mention your name once, I believe. I'm Zendrid.
Rexar. Lady.
Rexar.
Blade. Surname Blade.
And your men?
That is Durex, and
Z.
that over there is Z.
Yeah. I remember the female one.
I gesture to Rydell and say, "That's Rydell," and to Laura and say, "That's Shadow Smite." I leave everybody else to introduce themselves.
You picked it up. How may I help you, lady?
I simply figured if you guys are going to be traveling with us, I'd say hi.
You can't. There's nothing you can help us with. It's a social setting. We're
Yeah,
saying hi.
I don't need anything from you. I simply wanted to, we're sharing a table, we're sharing drinks, be polite.
We're mostly into eat, drink, get it done, so we get back to the guarding point. The smart-ass banter and stuff is done by the little shit you guys talked to earlier.
It didn't need to be smart-ass banter, nor did
We're
it
not-
need to be rude, but
We're not so different. We mostly just drink as well.
Hear, hear.
So let's get another round.
Thought you were watching
Senator-
the coin purse.
Oh, well,
The
yeah.
server came back immediately. Goes,
I
"Did you want that Apollo's heart now?"
Nope. Hobbs nectar for everybody. Another round.
Oh, not a crowd of these guys. It's gonna be a pissant fucking tip. He goes back and gets the Hobbs nectar.
Hey Ben, when
Yes?
we were headed up, I was hoping I could get an insight check on the lead lady accompanying Oleski to see what her intentions were towards him.
Because you can't see her very well, it'll be a disadvantage.
Okay.
What's that movie where the strippers drug and rob everybody? That's what's happening.
That's going to be a 24 with disadvantage.
The lead one is Cardi B. You found it out.
Wow.
Please note that you took away my natural 20.
Damn.
Ooh, that hurt, didn't it? That hurt.
That hurt a little bit.
You feel that if there's an opportunity, you feel that she's like skilled enough to make him as a mark, but you're just not experienced in real life in other life situations to kind of discern any more than how any of this tactic would work. You're brilliant on a battlefield, but not so much in the bedroom to kind of figure out what her full motive could possibly be.
Ooh, burn.
You think it's weird that they're walking going, get money, but yeah, that's just
I
you.
guess I'm trying to figure out, is she a threat to him in this state?
I mean, you've seen this similar move with the firebrand, so it's super hard. This seems to be what humans or mortals of fleshy type do with the other sex.
Wait till they're starting to shut the door, put your big metal foot in it, and say, sorry ladies, I've got to watch.
Yeah, I'm trying not to do that.
He doesn't do that.
That's
not
why
his
I always
tactic.
said.
So what do you
I
want
always
to do?
said you got to roll with it. That's what he likes.
I will, and when we get to the room, I will simply say I need to inspect the room first.
Aleska, you can allow this to happen. The girls are kind of like, you're wasting time.
HK, I'm sure that everything is fine. You can return to the table. I mean, you got to keep an eye on Firebrand because you know what he's going to do.
They said those handcuffs were already
Don't worry,
there.
I can keep my eye on these three and make sure they don't bother you.
We brought the whips.
Mm-hmm. You heard him. You can go play Watchdog downstairs. He's fine.
HK will step outside and take up a post directly outside of the door.
They said if you're just gonna watch, we still gotta charge you.
All right, so now the door is closed. You're occupied having fun.
The bars. Did you said? Oh, the door's closed. I thought you said the bar's closed.
And
So
remember, I don't
well,
sleep
I guess
anymore.
we're all
so-
watching now.
But you
I'm
can
awake
get
for the whole thing.
exhausted.
Sure, but I'm awake for the whole thing.
I hope so.
It's usually better if you are.
Okay. And that'll be something interesting to note in this situation, to see if you think if it's actually better for you or not. Because there are 3 of them and 1 of you. Alright. Anybody else want to try to do anything else at the tavern? Now there's only a select few. Rexar seems to be not a whole lot of fun to talk to.
I think Apollo's learning there's more than one god. Alexi's learning that there's more than one god.
He's learning that.
Not just Apollo.
Yeah, so aside from, enjoying a decent meal before retiring, since apparently things are going to continue tomorrow.
Well,
You weren't going to get that here anyway.
Alright, so Zindrid, you were drinking. Jew, you were drinking. I need you to roll a disadvantage, Jew, because you intoxicate yourself. Zindrid, please just roll a normal Constitution save. And
Jew has
Firebrand,
an iron constitution.
Firebrand also
15.
Constitution save normally.
Constitution at disadvantage?
Yes, because you drink a lot.
So
What's that
he,
supposed to mean?
so he should be at advantage.
No,
Well, fine, a natural 1. How's that?
Well,
Okay.
built up that tolerance.
Because of disadvantage.
You are
Ouch.
you are lit.
Ed, do you see my role in D&D Beyond?
Sorry, I
or
have
do you
other
want
things
go ahead
popped
and
up.
say it?
No, what was your roll?
Okay. I can say it out loud.
15.
14.
14. Okay, yeah. All right. So
Not a 1. Just
not a
that's all
1.
you guys.
You're good. You get a light little buzz. You're all set. Zindred, what was yours?
15.
You also have. Do you have advantage versus poison? As a paladin.
Is my answer, and I'm going to check for you. I do not believe I do. Nope.
No.
Nope.
But you're fine too. You just you have a light buzz as well.
Okay. Not
So
that doesn't
normal.
make me paranoid or anything.
So I'm feeling normal.
Yeah.
But just one glass is all that Zendard will have, because,
Okay.
you know.
Light buzz, feeling normal.
It is, like I said, it's a good glass of high end, so it is potent alcohol, unlike Hobbs Nectar.
That's not to say she won't tie one on if she knows she's safe, but that's not what the situation is.
All right, Russell, you will basically travel down, and you're gonna get to where your house is. And with that, we are going to, and Cole following, we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh.
And pick up into 2 split parties, and find out what they each discover in the morning.
Okay. So are we going to start up in the morning and you're going to let me know what I find, or are you going to roleplay that?
You're going to roleplay. Well, we'll roleplay you kind of meeting your folks and stuff like that, and then the discoveries of the mornings will, in each different spots, we'll play from there. And you have Cole as a secret backup because he follows.
Right.
So, let's see. Next month is February. Is the 20th work for everybody?
Give me 1 second. Let me take a look at my calendar.
Yep. Tabletop Journeys members. You can check that.
Should be for me. I don't have anything at this point.
Cool.
I don't show anything on either on my calendar or the TTJ calendar, Lee. I can't see your personal calendar, obviously.
Yeah, I've got. Hang on a second. Where'd it go? February. And you're looking at the 20th?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
That
So
works
I'll
for
make a
me.
mark for that.
Hold on, let me look at mine. Yeah, I'm good.
Well done. Thank you, everybody. You do pick up on this later on. So if you catch this before that frame, you can catch us live on that date. Welcome, Jeremy, to the our party with much suspicion. I do much more enjoy. It took a bit, but that's what it's all about. And we're now a party of 7, which is fantastic. It's amazing. And
7 plus.
7. Well, NPCs not part, but as players now.
We've got hangers on.
Yeah, for over a year, I think it was a little small party of the Streams of Spero was to have this large of a group, and some of our celebrity tabletop journeys members. It'll be fun.
Celebrity.
All right.
I like the ring of that celebrity. That sounds good.
So